Welcome to the Mind the Gaffes podcast. Here's what you can expect.
So yeah, I basically risked my life for this encounter.
I'm a stupid teenager.
Yeah.
Do not cancel me.
I just went, fuck's sake, Jesus fucking Christ, this is all a load of shit. It's not my fucking fault. I'm getting a fucking bottle. And then I just hear, "Hi Ross, you right, mate?"
This is a disgrace.
Don't fucking take my own kitchen knife and point it at my throat, you crazy fucking psycho. Welcome, everyone, to Mind the Gaffes. And today, we're outside in the beautiful sunshine. Because I would rather cut off my left testicle than film inside in 28 degrees. I'm loving the weather. I feel energized by the sun. We're having a barbecue and lots of cocktails later. I'm loving it. It's the perfect day. But this wouldn't be the Mind the Gaffes podcast if we didn't completely ruin that perfect day by sharing our most embarrassing stories on the internet for everyone to take the piss. This is most likely a terrible idea, and I love it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Why does this feel like some weird MK Ultra study that I've just been forced into?
I just want to say you were kind of giving Liz Truss vibes.
What?
then
In what way?
When you was like, this is a disgrace. That was sort of like the vibes you were giving. But I liked it.
Well, what can you do? Maybe I should, run.
On the
I'd be
country.
just as good as Liz Truss.
No, I think you should cut off your left testicle before you do that.
Yeah.
Maybe that would get more votes. That would impress some people.
It would go viral for sure.
On Nut Lucas, yeah.
So let's get right to it, okay?
Yes.
Let's not piss around.
Yes.
You ready?
No.
You ready, Callum?
I guess.
Okay. Your first time. There is nothing more awkward than your first time. And for any of, the youthful teenagers listening, you may be having some expectations, and I'm just here to tell you those expectations will just be met with disappointment. It will never be good. And I think this will now be evidence of that fact.
I could start, and I'm just going to get it out of the way. I'm not going to go
Okay.
into explicit details. The funny and embarrassing thing about it was it conspired where I was basically in a shitty hotel room. Like a really cheap one in day out in London.
Travel Lodge or something.
Not that good.
No, that's premium.
The problem was that at the foot of the bed, it was such a small room that there was a radiator. It was middle of winter, it was red hot at the foot of the bed. So I remember doing the deed and literally burning the sole on my feet on this radiator. It was probably the least sexy thing that's ever happened. If anyone's watched The Office, there's a scene where Michael Scott is cooking. He decides he wants to wake up every morning with
Oh,
bacon.
yes, I've seen that episode. I'm going to play that clip.
I stepped onto the grill and it clamped down on my foot. That's it. I don't see what's so hard to believe about that.
It was equivalent to that. It was just not really, not a good vibe. Not really setting the mood. But pretty embarrassing. Bit of a gaff.
That was bad. Callum, would you like to go next?
Obviously, I was apparently straight before I was gay. Even though I knew I was gay probably before this happened. Anyway,
I mean,
story.
some people don't know. That's
I mean,
not
no, I
obvious.
knew.
You say
I
it's
knew.
obvious, but
Because then the girl that I ended up going out with in sixth form, I told her 18 months before I became her boyfriend, oh, I think I'm gay, but I'm not sure, and then we ended up going out with each other. Anyway,
wait, for how long?
we were. I think it's pretty much all the sixth form, so 18 months, 2 years.
Jesus.
Wow. I
So
didn't know it was that long.
It wasn't just a month. It was a good
I thought it was
year and a-
4 months. I didn't realise it was the whole period
18
of time.
months. So yeah, we went to Amsterdam. We were 16, which is why I have very negative connotations of Amsterdam, even though I think it's quite a beautiful city. So she obviously wanted to, have
Do the
business, and I would use every excuse I could not to. And literally, I was very tired. We've been walking all day, sightseeing, so I was physically tired, but that was a convenient excuse. And it got to the end of the holiday, And she got really annoyed with me because I hadn't, engaged in the activity. And so she had we had like an argument, and then she went and locked herself in the bathroom of this hotel room, and it was like, what do you do in that situation? I mean, I was trying not to laugh, firstly, but
Yeah, when someone's upset, it could be anything worse than just laughing at it. 'Cause
so I think it calmed down, and then it was like, I think she said something. I was like, you don't want to have sex with me, or which probably, because like in my spare time I was probably looking at gay websites anyway, or Tumblr. Tumblr's full of images anyway.
Yeah, back in the heyday. Although I was anyway.
So she was trying it on all week,
pretty much,
and then you left it to the last day, and then the emotions were running high, and she didn't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then the next week I broke up with her because I had enough. Because I paid for the holiday, and I was like, I have to go now, but I don't really want to go. And then when I broke up with her, my mum was like, obviously I was in sixth form at the time. My mum's like, I would have paid for the holiday if you didn't want to go, because like I really didn't want to really be with her.
That is like the really silly thing where it's like you get in your head like, okay, maybe we do the holiday first.
But no, it wasn't really that. It was more because I was working in car phone warehouse at the time. I was earning decent money.
Dealer.
Pardon?
Wheeler dealer.
I was a wheeler dealer selling Geek Squad insurance. Which actually got fined by the Financial Conduct Authority for mis-selling, because that was in our training. Anyway, so I was earning probably in a bad month probably 600, on a good month probably 800, 900, which is good for like when I was at college. But still, going somewhere like Amsterdam, and she was from quite a rich family, going to Amsterdam, was quite a big amount of money that we'd invested. So it was like, I just got to get this out of the way. I probably started feeling bad about it probably in like New Year, and this was in like February. So I was like, I just wait 6 weeks and get it out of the way, and then break up when we get back. So
I feel like you should have just not gone on holiday with her.
I'm sure everyone has some experience with holding out for the holiday before you break up.
I mean, did I do that with my ex, who you knew? I went to Turkey for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I've done it before.
What was the concept? I can't remember the timeline, but did we?
I just remember.
Or did I not break up with her because we had the holiday?
That's the problem. This happens in like so many relationships where it's like,
it's 2 weeks.
Should break up, but there's a holiday in a couple months, and we've no deposit, and we're not going to get a refund, and you stick it out. I've done it. Luke's done it. Everyone's done it.
We've all done it.
So we can't judge Callum too harshly.
And that's why I have such a negative attachment to Amsterdam, even though I think it's a great city. I just don't like it because
memories.
But that's not actually your first time, Callum. That was your not first time. It could have been.
I'm not going into the story of my
I'm happy with it. I'm happy with a not first time story.
Yeah,
fair enough. All right. Was your first time okay?
It was okay.
It was mid. Okay, it was mid, and we'll leave it at that. So my first time was fucking diabolical. Lost it to my first girlfriend, but not when I was with her. She had then a second boyfriend, and that whole relationship went on, and then that ended. When I finally did meet up with her again, it was just after she broke up with her second boyfriend.
That's tough.
So that's what you call the rebound, which everyone's heard of course, but it doesn't apply to you when you're doing it.
Yeah, you don't think about that. Yeah,
you're just like, oh yeah, game time. Let's go. Especially my horny fucking 18, 17-year-old, 16-year-old. So I don't even know how old I was. I can't remember.
Can we get some pictures off of us like when we were 16?
Yeah, show me it. Pop up a picture of me looking 16 years old with spots and.
I think this will come up, because I had a pretty interesting look when I was at secondary school.
But point being, so what happened was, obviously I'm on the rebound, and then we're not finished. We're midway through it. Okay. She's on top.
No,
starts crying. Starts crying.
Are you going to continue?
I don't think that I need to elaborate any more details.
Oh, man.
And then afterwards, she's in a corner crying.
Oh, God.
Do you have fun with girlfriends and crying in a corner?
What? What's the other crying in the corner
Remember
situation?
when we was in the club in Romford, and you know, one of your previous girlfriends, she was just like, we was in this very busy club in Romford, the classiest place on earth, and the classiest club on earth, and she just went in the corner of the club and started crying.
Why was she crying?
I can't remember.
Was I not given attention or something?
Don't know.
Probably.
You're
too
probably
busy.
being the perfect boyfriend, and it wasn't.
Yeah, let's go with that.
You
Absolutely.
was too busy.
We're gonna have to blur
having
this out.
fun.
Callum rubbing oil all over his legs.
Yeah.
It's not PG.
Sun cream, but move on. Just trying to make it look worse than it is.
I mean, I'm quite lucky. I don't think I ever had a crazy ex, really. It was slightly awkward with the one I was just talking about because we still had like 4 months left of sixth form. We were in the same sixth form. It's very small. And we were sort of in the same friendship group, so it's a bit awkward. So really, but it wasn't like crazy. It was just like awkward. I was quite lucky in that regard.
Have you ever had any bad breakup?
Oh, I've got a banger. And I don't know if I've ever told you guys because I was probably so embarrassed at the time.
Right, well, let's go with
Well,
that.
did we know you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, spicy.
So in fact, it leads on very well from the previous thing of like waiting for the holiday to break up. So I was in a long distance relationship, so I could only.
Okay, that one.
I didn't want to be the person to break up over the phone or whatever, even like on a video call. So in my head, I was like, oh, it'd be better. I had a holiday coming up to Iceland. And I did the holiday to Iceland, and on the last day of the holiday, once we'd landed back in the UK, ended things.
Wait,
and
you did or
yeah,
she did?
I did. Because I wanted
What,
to.
like at the airport?
No. Once we got back to like where we
Your
were
own
staying, yeah, near the airport. And she took it really well. She just went deadly silent, and then started packing her things, and then just started walking to the airport, and wouldn't talk to me. I was literally, it's so embarrassing. I was like driving in my car, like, get in the car, please get in the car. No, she then went to the airport, and then I was like, well, I'll just go home then. If you want to sit in the airport for 6 hours, then obviously I get the phone call, crying. You need to come pick me up from pick you up from the airport to then take you back in like 3 hours time. It's like the middle of the night. I got to work the next day. It was a fucking nightmare. I mean, the whole thing was a nightmare.
So, what went through your mind in trying to break up with her on that last day?
Huh?
So you wanted to enjoy the whole holiday.
Yeah, I didn't want to ruin the holiday, and it was a pretty good holiday. But I knew things had to
Iceland's
end.
a pretty nice place.
I knew things had to end.
Couldn't
so
you wait till you got home? Like
Huh?
3 days later or something?
it was going to go back to London, and then I'd be back to a situation where I'd have to
Wait, she
do
was
it
going
over
to
the
come
phone.
back to London immediately after?
No, she was going to go back to Europe
Right.
after the Iceland holiday.
Yeah. And?
Because he wanted to do it
The
in
whole
person.
point was I wanted to do it in person.
Because he's more respectful for the
I
other
see.
person.
And I tried to do it in person, and I then couldn't even have a conversation because they just wouldn't talk to me, and then they just started walking.
Okay, I get it.
It was fucking embarrassing. It was a nightmare. Thank God that's over. We move on. Life gets better.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really bad. And I don't even think you're like two of my best friends in the world. I don't even think I told you because I was just so embarrassed about it.
Sorry. Don't mean to laugh.
Why'd
No,
laugh?
you can laugh, man. It is
It's
pretty
not
funny.
that bad.
That's fine. I guess in the
Because it's
in the
not like
moment it's
you're the one
embarrassing.
who's reacting.
You're trying to do the
badly.
right thing.
So right after this Iceland breakup, it was a thing of like, come meet me in Europe. We'll talk about things. Da da da. And look, it's not a good idea, but I'm quite bad for that. Which is like you kind of go back and have a chat, and then you end up sleeping together, and that's basically what happened. And then, yeah, it was my own fault because then that ended up that we were kind of back to dating again, and then I had to go through the whole thing again. So my advice would be just
Link up.
kind of can't do that. And if they say they want to just chat, they don't want to just
It's
chat.
not. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like Netflix and chill, but you're not watching Netflix.
yeah.
And you don't have any crazy ex stories.
Oh, not
I
really.
mean, that wasn't really a crazy ex story. That was just a story.
I
but-
think for me it was always relatively amicable. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the kind of people you attract, Luke. I think that's the problem.
Oh God.
One of them, I won't name who, obviously, but
But not the most recent.
look, obvious. So I did a bad thing. Okay,
What did you
we
do?
were on holiday. I was on holiday with Ross. Funny enough,
It was in the mountains, wasn't it? All happens in the mountains.
Yes, always in the
Yeah.
mountains.
It's the altitude, man.
I kissed. Long story short, I kissed a girl. Yeah, I did a
And you
bad
liked
thing.
it?
Okay.
Say that.
Tastes like cherry chapstick.
Yeah. I kissed this girl. I mean, she kissed me first, but whatever. I still liked it, and then tried it on. So, yeah, that happened. Yeah, I'm a dickhead. Admitted. Fine. Right. I did that thing. Anyway, moving on. So when this person suddenly feels guilty and then decides to Instagram message my ex,
Yeah.
the last thing break up with me, do what you want. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Don't fucking take my own kitchen knife and point it at my throat, you crazy fucking psycho. That's a step too far.
Might be a bit much.
That is a bit mental. Obviously, I feel extremely embarrassed the whole time because I've been outed essentially
Yeah.
in too many drinks. Not that I've ever done that again since.
Did you feel?
And the one time I did do that, that happened to me.
May- got a knife to your throat.
When the knife was pointed at you, how did you feel?
Did you think like I might actually die?
No, I thought I took it quite well. I was like very calm, and I was just like, person's name, put the knife down. What are you doing? I was like, put the knife down. Don't be silly. Yeah.
Mm.
And eventually it went away, and I grabbed the knife, fucking knocked her. No, I didn't do that. But
Oh my god.
I didn't do that. That's stupid.
Holy shit. Well, we can tell one piece of that story, which is that involves my crazy ex. Because she was on that holiday in the mountains and basically was trying to set you up with her friend, knowing that you're in a relationship, really fucking pushed it hard. And then, as well with the girl herself, and then all of a sudden turned it around. Like, she was the one who convinced her to kiss you and stuff. And then she decided that she had a conscience all of a sudden.
Yeah. I was like,
It
I
was
wasn't
really
even
fucked
leading that. I wasn't even what's the right word? Encouraging. No. I kind of let it happen and accepted it rather than I wasn't actively pushing
You
it.
accepted
Yeah,
your
yeah,
fate.
yeah.
So yeah, I let it happen. You're the one with a conscience
Me and Luke
when
always
you
joke.
started it.
Me and Luke always joke we're never in a relationship at the same time, and the one time we were, Luke gets a fucking knife to his throat. So maybe it's better that we.
So no,
we flip-flop.
full context. This is a story. It's like me and Ross have never, ever in our life, been in a solid relationship. I mean, there's been some blending of crossover somewhat, but for the most part, 95% of the time, we have never both been in a relationship at the same time. And whenever the other person then gets in a relationship, the other one falls apart.
Yeah, it's like a death notice. Like, if Luke starts getting in a healthy relationship now, I'll be like, oh my god.
Yeah, and
Someone's gonna
then
go,
Ross, you got with your girlfriend, and then I'm just like, oh fuck.
Yeah, and it did happen.
And then it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, bastard. So when are you breaking up?
You
I
are, shit.
think it's time to break the curse.
I think we break the curse.
I'd like to break.
Put it
the
this way,
curse.
me and Luke have never been on a double date because, like you said, there's
Yeah,
never been,
it just doesn't
it
exist.
would never work.
Yeah. I'm
Oh,
sure your
shit.
current girlfriend will find this story amusing.
I hope,
But
fucking hope so.
That has literally been going on since I've known you.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
that's
whole
mad.
time. What's that? 6 years now?
Yeah, that's too long.
Like, that's too much of a coincidence.
Why can't we
What-
both be happy, man?
Yeah, what?
Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. It's sad. My next question is: any embarrassing hookup stories?
I'm pleading the fifth, I think. Let me think.
That
but-
you would be willing to share?
No, because I think I've generally been quite sensible.
Oh, Callum, fuck off. No, you haven't.
Have.
That is such a load of bollocks. I've got one.
Yeah.
But that's about you.
No, why? I was like, oh, great, Luke's got one.
What,
Cool.
What about the, it's quite hot out, wouldn't you agree? And you're not wearing a hat, and you might get heat stroke, right?
I can't tell this story. I actually can't. So I went to Barcelona, lads' holiday, and I had all the accounts deleted, and I was like, I'll make a fresh account, go to Barcelona on Hinge,
Nice.
and I get literally one match, And it's this American girl. I get the match, and then I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And then, I'm going to another part of Spain, so like, fucked off. Not a possibility. Whatever, it's fine. Carry on with the holiday. There was one time during the day where I laid out. For whatever reason, everyone else was just. I was like, we were supposed to have this big thunderstorm roll in. It was like the whole backdrop of the holiday was like, we're going to get a bit of sun and then this fucking massive, it's just going to rain the rest of the time. And we just kept getting lucky with like, so I was like, okay, the morning is supposed to be sunny and then this whole thunderstorm's going to come and it's going to fuck the holiday. So not everyone else is busy. I'm going to go lay on the rooftop. Literally must have been like 45 minutes. And I had sun cream on, but for whatever reason, that 45 minutes just like cooked me. We're having a meal, and I don't know if anyone's ever had heat stroke before, but I just started.
I don't think I have.
No, and it was this really weird feeling.
Sensible.
All I said was, I was like, I feel really fucking tired, like I'm about to go to sleep right now. Like that's how I felt. I felt like all the fucking life force has just been drained out my body. And we've just we haven't even ordered the food yet. We had this whole night out planned. We were going to go to the old town. It's going to be really fun. And I was like, I feel fucking weird. And then I just got my head down on the table. And I get back to the hotel. And now I've got to stay in the hotel with my mate who's going to look after me. And I get a text saying, I'm actually in so-and-so tomorrow. In fact, that's incorrect. She'd already texted me before I had the heat stroke saying,
you already arranged
and
it.
we were like, we'll make plans and stuff. And then I get back to the hotel. I'm like, there's no fucking way I can do anything tomorrow. I'm an absolute mess. And then stuff occurred, and the bottom line is I didn't get any sleep. So I had like 2 hours sleep.
Stuff occurred.
The 2 nights before, I'd only had like an hour's sleep. Like I had an accumulation over like the whole holiday of like 8 or 9 hours. I was a fucking mess anyway. Then I had the heat stroke, and I got the worst night's sleep I'd had the whole holiday. And I was just like, I changed plans, and I was like, okay, we were going to go to the beach. And I'm like, I can't sit on the beach. I'll literally die. And I just winged it, and I texted her, and I was like, okay, we've actually got a rooftop pool at the hotel. Do you want to come meet me there? Which is such a like chancer thing to do, because it's like, I just have to roll out of bed.
The alternative, there was no risk to that.
There's no alternative because I don't.
Like, I can't do this, so it's either that.
And
or nothing.
yeah, and then we ended up. I got this sunbed, but not one of the ones in the shade. So I'm literally risking my life, like sitting in the sun talking to this girl on this sun lounger. And then we ended up like kind of holding hands after a while, and then went to my hotel room. My mate was in there, sat on the end of the bed with a towel around him, which is really, really sexy thing to happen when you're bringing a girl back to your room. So I had 2 single beds that, was just not cool at all. So I was sharing a room. And then I had some sex. And after a while, I laid there and I thought I was going to die because I had the same feeling that I had in the restaurant of like my body's overheating. I was looking it up the day before, like the things you shouldn't do with heat stroke. Don't go in the sun. Don't do any form of exercise. So I was like, I've just killed myself.
Are you qualifying this as exercise for us?
It was pretty solid exercise, and I thought I was going to die. And I was like, this is how I die in this hotel room. The aircon's shit. I basically risked my life for this encounter with this nice lady. So there you go. That's the story.
That's commitment. That's what they want to hear.
I'm sure you told me once about when you hooked up with this girl and you text the next day, like asking him what to do.
It was a hookup.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I woke up and then I'm like, I kind of want you to leave, but how do I get you to leave?
So you phoned a friend.
So I phoned a friend.
It's like, what do I do in this
I
situation?
thought would be experienced in getting people to leave.
Yeah. Fair.
And then his response is just like, fucking, I don't make this mistake because I go to theirs. I'm like, well, fucking big bollocks. All right, sorry. Yeah, should have gone to theirs so you can leave yourself.
It's only because he lived with his parents, so it's cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I like to think. And then he was just like offering the worst advice, like, I'll just fucking slap her. wake her up. I'm like, what are you talking about? How do I get this person to leave? I don't want.
And did they hang around for like hours?
It's actually, this is really embarrassing. So like,
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard this before.
I don't think I told you this. So let's just say I was the whole thing was a mistake in general. I just shouldn't have done it. And let's just say I was so drunk my performance wasn't particularly great. Okay. And then I woke up and I wanted her to leave. And then when she finally did wake up after fucking ages, this is like 9 a.m. already. I'm like, I've been up since 6:30. I just want you to go.
Yeah.
And at that point, she wakes up and then we're chatting and chatting. I'm like, just fucking,
Just waffling.
please, yeah, waffling nonsense.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, she wants round 2.
And you didn't want round 2.
Obviously, I didn't want round 2. I'm now sober.
Was she a?
However, I'm just thinking in
Was
my
she an
mind.
acquired taste?
Yeah,
I mean, Luke's
let's
an
go with
acquired
that.
taste, to be fair. But
Oh, fuck off. Right.
Fine wine, Luke. That's
And
what
I'm
you
just thinking, I didn't even want this, but is this the most efficient way to get her to leave?
are. Yeah.
So then round 2 happens.
Oh no, I didn't know that part.
And then finally, not long after that, it's time to leave, blah, blah, blah. I walk her to the nearest bus station, and then...
That's
Yeah.
really sweet of you.
And then she didn't have her oyster
Isn't that sweet of him?
She
that
didn't
you-
have her oyster card or anything. So I'm like, well, I'll pay for your oyster. So I went onto the bus, I paid for the oyster, and then she was saying bye and blah, blah, blah. And then she was like, text me. And as the doors closed, I said, I'm not. And then the door closed.
Oh
and I
my
walked off.
god! I'm not. Just like fucking. This is the last time you ever see me. Bye bye.
It was like, text me. No.
That
Close,
is
shut.
because leading up to that, like walking her to the bus station, that's a sweet thing to do. Paying for her oyster, and then just the fuck you. I'll never see you again.
I've not told you that one.
no, I've
No,
never heard it
I
before.
only all I knew was that you asked for advice and you wanted her to leave the house. I think you might have even texted me.
Well, that was. I have a worse situation, okay, than that.
God.
Right, okay. This is the last one I'm going to share. And this really made me appreciate a whole decade later. So, caveat, I'm going to say this several times, okay? When I tell this story, I was 16, okay? Please remember this bit of information as I tell you this cringe. I met up this girl from a dating app.
What you weren't even old enough for it to be on a dating app.
You lied. That's fraud.
Was it 18 plus? I don't even.
It's 18 plus, yeah.
You probably did a fraud. That's fine.
I don't even know.
You can just lie on those
Is
things.
this app called Meet Me? I don't think you need to be 18.
Oh, maybe not.
No.
Shouts
it
out,
like-
meet me.
Badoo or something like that.
I definitely back in the day had like those horrible apps. Yeah.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
What was the other one? Omegle.
That was just
Amigos different, mate.
Omegle's not a
Yeah.
specific meeting people app.
We could do an Omegle special.
No.
Yeah, and I
Something to
think
meet.
you have to show your penis on there for it. That's how they let you on the site.
Yeah.
Because loads of people do it, so there must be something to it.
hmm
I think
Yeah.
that's the T's and
Moving
C's.
on, Ross.
That's the
I'm
T's and
going to
C's.
tell my story now.
Yeah,
So I met up with this girl. We went into Costa.
classic.
We had a drink. We chatted for a bit. Blah,
You
blah,
don't
blah,
even
blah, blah.
like coffee.
Sorry?
You don't even like coffee.
What? You can go to a coffee shop and not get coffee. I didn't mention coffee. I said Costa. We decided to go to the park, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And in the park, it gets a bit feisty. And, yeah.
Sounds like you're wrestling her.
Yeah. And, certain activities
Transpired.
occurred.
In the park.
And then a man walking his dog turned up, and then that immediately cancelled that. And I was running away, pulling my shorts up.
Ah,
So that story happened.
damn.
But the really embarrassing part of it was, obviously, I'm not bringing this girl back to my parents because that was just out of the question.
Yeah.
And mate,
She sounds
in
really nice.
In hindsight, that sounds like a better idea than what I suggested. But at that point, we were like, okay, let's go somewhere a bit more discreet, so, seal the deal. And it then started getting quite dark. This is winter, so it got dark early, and it just came up out of nowhere. So when I'm now going to this person I've just met, okay, she's known me for like 3 hours in person, and the woods is now pitch black. Okay, and I never appreciated this as a man when I was younger, how sus as fuck that is.
Scary that is, yeah.
Because I'm just like, well, who cares? It's
You're just like, I want to get my
we both
dick
agreed.
sucked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
To put it politely.
And then there was the whole bullshit with the fucking a friend's calling, something's happened, blah blah blah, trying to get out of the situation.
Probably some street smarts involved in that.
A whole decade later, I appreciate how that was dodgy as fuck.
Yeah. At the time, you were
at
like,
the time, I was just like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
It's a different time.
That's blue balls brains.
2012,
Yeah.
2013.
So that was quite awkward, especially running away from the man with his dog.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
Why can't he mind his own
fortunately-
damn business?
Yeah, why does he have to turn up at the wrong time? Like fucking dogs,
Yeah.
man.
Was he actually chasing after you, or were you just like, I need to get away?
What are you talking about? No.
So did he see you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You got to get out of that. It's you.
Yeah, so that's that. And that's the end of this segment. So let's
Thank
move on.
fucking Christ, we're over
Right.
that segment.
So we all know that when we're younger, we would post things online, and you'd look at that several years later and think, that was dodgy. Why did I say that? Am I a stupid 12-year-old twat?
Yes.
Why did I say that? I think a lot of people have a bad digital footprint. So that is the theme here. That is the theme. Stuff you've posted online that's really embarrassing.
Yes.
And I think I'd like to start with the really awkward cringe videos I used to make at school. And we all have an example here. That
Yeah, I got a
think's
good one.
bloody hilarious. So, Ross, let's start with you.
Awkward cringe videos. So, I actually quite like this video. I'm quite proud of it, but it was the least effort I'd ever put in. I did media at college, and it was the least effort I ever put into a
We
video.
both did it. So.
But it was like it was like my masterpiece. I was like the director for the first time because it was like a bullshit project, and the concept was, if you've heard of the term like Sweded, so people will make like a Sweded version of the Titanic or a Sweded
I don't
version.
understand.
I don't know.
What it is, I can't remember why it's Sweded. I think the joke is, it's the Swedish version of the blockbuster film.
I've not
But you
heard
basically
that
have
before.
to recreate a film on like the lowest budget possible. Like you've probably seen loads of examples online of like
an
where they'll
indie.
remake like, especially like Fast and Furious, where they have like a little toy car driving around instead
Right,
of. But
okay.
you try and match it shot for shot. So we decided to do the Matrix trailer,
Nice.
Oh, I remember seeing this.
and I'm so proud of it. I still show people this trailer. Just because it was just so silly. We like purposefully, there's a scene where I'm like dodging these like the bullets, right? And we didn't even really match the trailer. We're just kind of like, I remember that in the film. We did the red pill, blue pill. Like I purposefully took the wrong pill just because it'd be stupid.
Red pill or the blue pill.
Whoa.
There's a scene where I'm bending over and dodging the bullets, and the bullets are little drawings of bullets on like felt pens that were like putting over the top of me. And then I leaned back, and my mate James was like kind of crouched down so I could lean on him. But instead of cropping it to where you couldn't see James, we purposefully cropped it so you could see him in the shot. And yeah, it was just really, and then the ending's really funny. I mean, I'm sure we can just re-upload it or something.
I'll put it on this, like, to accompany.
Yeah. I really like the ending. That was my idea. We got this guy on like a laptop. But yeah, that was really funny. Do you know, I wanted to like preface this whole concept of like online footprint to say like, we are actually really lucky that we had a bit of it, right? We had Facebook and we had like, I don't know, MSN Messenger, but I feel like we grew up just before like if I grew up now with like fucking Instagram, Twitter, like all these fucking things, like the embarrassing shit I would have posted if I just had free reigns to post would be like, and then you get
Imagine doing this podcast when you were 15. What would we say?
Like, so
That would be online.
For whatever reason, between the ages of between year 8 and year 11, I didn't use Facebook at all, and I'm so fucking great. I think I just thought, I was like, I don't need fucking, even now I'm like, I don't like social media, fuck social media, but I just didn't use it at all. The only reason I got it in year 11 was because we made like a group chat or whatever. But mate, some of the shit I posted on Facebook, I'll try and find it for you. Because I obviously at some point you go, and because I had a massive gap, it's really easy to get to like my year 8 time.
Nice.
So this is like because my age on Facebook is probably higher than it should be because I probably got it younger. So this is like primary school shit I'm like posting on and on Facebook, and just embarrassing. So there was an app, early iPod days, where you could like make a picture black and white, and then you could colour in. You could, with your finger, paint in the bits you wanted to be coloured. So there's a picture of me with like multicoloured sunglasses on, and I've like coloured in the sunglasses and embarrassing shit. But the most embarrassing one I did, it's just so unfunny, and like I just look back. I've ate a ham sandwich. It's like a fucking panini, and I've ate the sandwich, and there's a bit of ham sticking out the side of the sandwich, and I've gone, that looks like a tongue. So then with a felt tip pen, I've drawn eyes and a mouth on the sandwich that I didn't want to eat the rest of, and then done a caption like, yum, hungry for a ham sandwich, yum, yum, and posted that on Facebook. And I deleted this fucking picture 1,000 times. It's like a fucking virus. It just keeps showing up on my page. And I have so little.
Someone else uploaded
No,
it,
it's just, I don't know how Facebook works, but I'm sure they've just got multiple databases, and it's just impossible to like clear shit.
Yeah,
it'll just re-upload. You try and delete something,
it's out there forever.
It just keeps re-uploading it from like a backup or something. So I will really try and find that, because it's the antithesis of like, if I posted more, and that's the level of like humor and shit. Just so cringy.
1,000 posted that.
But I've got, everyone has a little cousin now that's got an Instagram, and they make 1,000 posts a day, and it's like,
they need to be so much more careful, don't they?
Just don't do it. Yeah. Oh.
Especially when your employer looks through your Facebook feeds.
Thank Christ Instagram wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Thank Christ.
Why do I sound old? It's fucking...
My advice is literally... this is how I live.
You've said this before. Don't post anything ever.
No, this is what's fucked by the podcast. Because my advice to anyone is, don't ever post an opinion about anything anywhere ever. And then Luke's like, let's do a podcast. And I'm like, well, that's out the fucking window, isn't it? But I think that's the only way you can safeguard yourself. I love telling like friends my opinions, or colleagues, or like in real life. But as soon as you're putting opinions out into the world, it's just a fucking cesspit of just bullshit. And people are so opinionated, and it's going to crop up at some point. And the only way to avoid that is to just never say an opinion about anything ever.
Did you have any bad social media posts you ever done?
So my social media presence was sort of limited until I was about 14, 15. Because
great age.
At one point, my parents, like, I never had MSN Messenger.
Oh, that was the shit,
my parents
man.
didn't let me, which I'm kind of glad they didn't. They like MySpace. I wasn't
Mate,
allowed that.
if you could find the logs of my like MSN Messenger chats, I would.
Oh no! If that was like, if you're in this is where I get. I'm gonna talk about AI, which is our follow-up episode. But it's like, what if and cyber hacking, you could just pull up all those old chats, all those really cringe chats you've had with people, private chats, and now it's just blasted online for everyone to see.
I'm pretty sure that if Kik Messenger, did you ever have Kik? K-I-K?
I did.
I'm sure.
That's rough.
In my life.
That is rough.
I'm sure if you could get them messages back, there's probably something there. But I think really my sort of social media presence didn't start until I was about 14 or 15. Twitter was very much like, I would just go on there. At the time I was very like, right-wing, Tory, Brexity.
Fucking Tories.
So I deleted a load of that stuff, but you can probably get it back somehow.
Wayback Machine.
Even though, like, with my dad this morning, when I was talking to him, he's like, "You're a right lefty now," and I was like, "I guess I am." He started calling me Jeremy Corbyn. Anyway,
I love how that's an insult.
Isn't he a left lefty, not a right lefty? So I don't get the joke.
He's far left.
Yeah. So
yeah. Anyway,
what's the comparison?
I'm not a fan of him. But anyway, going back to social media presence. So for me, it was mostly YouTube. I think we've all got this link within us. It's mostly YouTube. So I did not take media. My studies when I was in school was very much like the regular stuff in the languages. I did a lot German and French. And then sixth form was like history, politics, IT. So I did try to do as much editing when I could. So whenever I had a chance to do video editing, I did like drama after school. I would do it. So it would be things like,
Congratulations, you've made it through to the final stages of getting into the Big Brother house.
we also did the One Show.
Yeah, but before that, we've got an interesting report on skin cancer and how to present it.
Which is like I was trying to be Matt Baker or something like that. Then we did Embarrassing Bodies Fat Thurrock Special.
And welcome to the Embarrassing Bodies Fat Thurrock Special. And we're live from a school in Thurrock, which has one of the largest obesity rates in Britain and even Europe. Did you know that the average amount of obese adults in Thurrock is over 28.1%? And there's almost 1 in 4 children who are medically classed as obese.
Which is quite fun. They're not that embarrassing. I find them quite funny to watch back.
Okay, that's good.
And I look back with them positively. I think generally, like, I'm quite glad that I don't have too much. Like, I deleted my old Facebook not because there was anything embarrassing. I just didn't like Facebook. But then I needed it again because my partner now, he's from a country where Facebook is popular, so I need it.
Yep.
But to be honest, I'd rather not have Facebook. I hate it.
Yeah.
But I think that generally my stuff is quite funny to watch back, and I look back with it fondly.
I agree, and I'm getting nostalgic and talking to my friends who I made some content with. I'm like, why did I delete that? I really want to watch that. Yeah. And I had some absolute bangers back in school of like, obviously it's not top quality content, but it is. I really want to see it again.
See, the thing I'm glad about is I just set all of mine to private, because there was actually one time.
Yeah, I should have done that.
There was this one time when I was at a previous company, and some people found my YouTube account and started watching it, and
they'll find this one now.
They were playing it in the office.
We were okay with that. We want this to be seen. Not the other stuff we don't want to
They
be
were
seen.
playing it in the office, and I was just like, oh. So I set it to private so they couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Do you want to know the banger video I made?
Sure.
Yeah, go on.
This is like one of my lots of stupid stuff, like we'd make zombie apocalypse videos, and the zombies are just two of my mates who, when they die, they just appear in the next shot, and it's the same person every single time. And it's just cringe. But one of them was like, I had this genius idea, and it was stupid. But you all know Doctor Who?
Yeah.
Okay, so I decided to make a comedy version. It was called Doctor Pooh and the TARDIS.
Way.
Doctor Pooh and
That's
the TARDIS.
my type of humour. I could watch this back.
This is like old school 2015 YouTube skit.
You made this
comedy.
in 2015.
Wait, sorry. When is it?
You would have been 20.
When,
you would have been
when
19?
was I in year 9?
2011.
Wait, no.
Like
YouTube came out in 2005, didn't it?
Yeah.
this would have been like 2011 or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Not 2015. You would
I
have
was
been like 19.
I was in year 8 or year 9 that time.
Dr. Pooh.
But the joke is, the TARDIS is the toilet. So whenever he takes a shit, that's when he travels through time.
That's amazing.
And this is just stupid.
We should get this made. Have you got a script we can submit
I
somewhere?
want to watch this back, but it doesn't exist.
Oh,
it's gone.
no.
It's complete. It's so sad. And then apparently there was one scene, and I completely forgot this part, but I was talking to my mate yesterday, and he reminded me of this, where it was just like, I once told him, because this was the stunt action scene of the video. And I was like, oh yeah, jump out of this first story window and then land on the concrete down below and you'll be fine. You just need to roll at the end and
Yeah.
yeah, you'll be fine. It's like as if you have fucking iframes that just don't mean you get hurt.
Yeah.
This is real life, you idiot. You know, rolling's not, you're gonna break your leg. But I was just like, oh yeah, do it for the video. Fuck it.
Wow.
Just jump out the window. Obviously, you didn't do it. Thank fuck. But this is just like the
level you were operating at.
the level of idiocy I was working at. But I had so many. I literally wrote down loads of the videos
Yeah.
I made. This was at college actually, so I made a half an hour video which was adapted from an anime, and that's super cringe because it involved a childbirth scene with shit acting. You can imagine exactly how that panned out.
Roll the
which
VT.
is
It was cruel to watch.
Yeah.
horrendous. I don't even know if I want to roll
Yeah,
the VT
do
on
it.
that one.
Yeah.
And it was with my sister.
I need to go too.
Go ahead.
I did it all by myself.
I should hope so.
So if she's
I
ever
remember
on
the
this
bit at the
podcast,
end where
then-
you're like holding her in your arms and you're like,
oh,
I was only living because it was too much trouble to die.
God, that was the worst
It's
shit
pretty
I've
good.
ever done. It was horrendous.
Sorry.
And then I had another video.
But these people, they came and interrogated me, and they killed the people that I cared about over something I had nothing to do with. And they think they can get away with this. I'm gonna give every single one of them what they deserve.
Same mate who I told to jump out of the first story window.
Yeah.
He has a whole YouTube channel of videos where he was doing yo-yo tricks.
I'm going to be doing a review on Yo-Yo Jam Dark Magic 2, minus the caps. It's a pretty good yo-yo. Good for string tricks, obviously, because it's a string trick yo-yo.
That's pretty cool.
I thought it was cool. I
Pretty
thought it was
popular
funny.
now, isn't it?
Other than the fact, you know, our high-pitched voices and just, yeah.
Yeah. So I've.
But he can't. He really wants to delete it, but he can't because he made the YouTube channel before Google bought them, and he's
Wow.
forgotten the account details, so it's up there forever.
That's awesome. I've got a couple that I've just thought of. What so? This is like early YouTube, and I didn't find out that you could even like monetize YouTube until I was like, I don't know, like year 8 or 9. I remember it blowing my mind. I was like, what the fuck do you mean people make money making YouTube videos? Didn't get it at all. But this was like, I must have been. It was when Scary Maze game was like popular, and it was
Yeah.
a long time ago because it was when we had like a family computer.
Scary Maze game.
You don't know
You ever
Scary
played
Maze
the Scary
game?
Maze game?
Was it
Oh.
on Miniclip?
It had its own website.
Oh,
It was the
okay.
shit. It was a flash game, so you could
Oh,
play it
right.
on like the school computers and stuff.
I'd say it was like as big as like Happy Wheels was.
It was
It
massive.
was like a thing.
We were like very young. I feel like it was like maybe like 10 or something. But even then, we had this instinct where we were like, we're gonna go viral. We just thought we were gonna go viral on YouTube. And what was really popular at the time was reactions to Scary Maze game, and people be playing it and like fucking freak out and lose their mind. So it was actually my brother and a few of his mates, and we're probably filming it on like a shitty like phone camera,
Yeah.
or a webcam on probably a webcam connected to the PC, and we knew like it wasn't our first time playing the game. We obviously knew what was going to happen, so it was completely faked. Like we faked the entire reaction.
Can't do that.
And we're all there, and then fuck's sake, and then obviously the scary face pops up, and we're all going like, oh fucking, or not, probably not swearing, but going, oh my god, and we're running around in circles screaming and like losing our
It's
minds.
so sad.
So embarrassing. I don't know if I could find it. I don't know whose YouTube it went up on. I remember filming it, and I remember remembering it years later and going, Jesus
Why did I do
Christ,
that?
that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
The other thing I got into, which was I was probably like 13 or 14, Black Ops 2
Call
was
of
out.
Duty.
So Call of Duty Black Ops 2 was out, so that'll give you the time frame. But we were like, oh, we're gonna do. There was like really popular YouTubers at the time were like KYR, Speedy, and they're called The Crew, but it was like Jehovah. I don't know if you watched any of those guys. We basically were like,
I remember Speedy.
Speedy was like massive.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were like, we're gonna make our own version of those videos. So there's some of those out there where we did like funny moments compilations of like playing Call of Duty. Don't know what happened. They'll be somewhere, but not.
That's a weird thing.
Not an account I made.
I've had like the same Google account for 12 years. I'd never like set up. I've got other Google accounts obviously, but I've never set up separate YouTube channels.
No, well that wasn't my channel. That was like one of my brother's mates. But we were all like, we were all making.
At least when it's on your channel, you have some level of control over to unlist them or not. I literally like when we started this. I'm just gonna say it now, just so I can declare it first before someone else finds it. But it's like one of my other mates' channels. It was he did Call of Duty videos as well, and then I was co on that. And I'm like, right, I'm just going to watch this just in case I say some dodgy shit that's going to bite me in the arse. Even though, again, this all boils down to I'm a stupid teenager.
Yeah.
Do not cancel me. My God. Anyway.
Yeah, that won't
I was
save
like,
you.
right, hopefully I didn't say anything too dodgy just in case someone finds this. Literally, not even 5 seconds into the video, I decide to steal his intro, and because he's called True Epicness, okay? And then I'm like, hi guys, True Gayness here. I'm like, this is so cringe.
Yeah.
The thing is though, like I was watching an old BBC Three reality program a couple months back. I don't know, it's like, do you remember it? Some Sex and Suspicious Parents. It came up on like my YouTube, and it's like how casually people, even like a decade ago, would casually throw around like "oh, you're so gay," like on TV. Like in school, I remember, and like now, I think that would be completely unacceptable.
I was gonna say, how do you feel about it?
This is what Linus Tech Tips was talking about, where he nearly got cancelled.
Back in the day, like, right? I mean, I was gonna say right or wrong. It was definitely wrong, but gay was just thrown around as like
that's
it's like
rubbish.
you're being a bit
or
like
that's stupid.
Yeah, or you're just being a bit like I don't even know.
Like, be like, oh, that's so gay.
That's so gay.
But
You're gay.
really
Everything's gay.
It'd just be like it'd be a pejorative for, oh, that's a bit weird. I guess would be sort of.
Yeah.
But I guess
Did you ever use that?
I don't think so.
It's hard to.
I don't think you would use any words like that anyway.
I don't know. I feel like, especially on like the playground and stuff, it was just used like, just so frequently to just describe everything and anything, and it wasn't about homosexuality. It was just a word.
It was just like the fact I was watching this BBC Three program from like a decade ago,
Yeah.
and like they were just casually throwing it around, and I was just like, that you would not do that now. There's no.
There's so many comedy skits and stuff you can watch from like a few years ago, and the whole premise is like, this person's gay, and that's the joke, and it's like that just wouldn't get made now.
No.
Anyway, sorry, that was just a complete left turn, but I felt it needed to be said.
The only other video I think that's worth mentioning that I made, which is actually why I was inspired to do our latest embarrassing myself in Comic-Con video, was because a decade before that, I was actually the camera operator going to Comic-Con with someone else from my college, and he was just, there was no specific purpose in mind, it was just interviewing random cosplayers. But that was really fun, so that inspired me to do it again, except I'm deliberately just going to lean into it. I feel like with this stuff, if you think it's going to be embarrassing, just like go for it.
Embrace it.
Yeah, completely embrace it, because then that will actually just be more funny rather than embarrassing.
Do you know
that's
what
kind of what I
my favourite
expected.
part of that video was when you were a fish on the ground?
He's actually going to do it! No! Why?
You're a fish on the ground and just the people around, and I think honestly some people thought you were probably having a
oh my god, I didn't even think of that.
And that's the main thing I had in my head when you were doing it. I was like, what if people think he's having a seizure? Yeah.
Well, then they just go up to me and then I'll just be like, magic harp. He was literally just like, he was just saying like, oh, the whole time that guy I was speaking to, nice guy, I chatted to him afterwards, but obviously he's leaning into his character in the moment, which was he's this alien who like doesn't like humans and they're his peasants and whatever.
Yeah.
And then he just spent the whole time like verbally abusing me, and then it was like, get down on the floor like a fish where you belong, and like you just out of the ocean drowning. I'm like, okay, well that's my day, I'll do that. And then the people's reactions, as I did.
I think that was the best part.
Yeah, that was.
I can't believe you just
do you
did
know
everything.
do you know what's actually the most embarrassing out of everything I recorded? Like, you think me running around screaming or dancing or singing or all that kind of stuff, you think that the most embarrassing thing was something quite simple that people probably didn't even find that clip the funniest.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, go take a picture with this person and then do the heart together. And you do the other half a heart. And I can't explain why I'm asking you to do this. Just trust me. Say cheese!
Cheese.
Yeah,
like, I'm half a heart and
I
they're
can
the
see
other
that.
half a heart. And that's not even the funniest clip. But for me personally, that was the only thing I actually felt embarrassed doing. Everything else,
I think that's
I'm
your
like,
superhuman
everything
ability.
else,
Luke.
I expected to do dodgy shit, but that was like so subtle. I was just like, oh, I don't like.
Yeah,
this,
it is
you
a
know?
bit on the creepy side, but it's
Yeah.
all part of the
But it's
gag.
not
But nothing else.
really.
No, it's not. But I
Yeah.
get why that specifically would, because you're involving someone else who hasn't done the dare. Like, I get why
Yeah.
that specifically would be like, oh, that's actually embarrassing.
Yeah. So yeah, if you haven't checked out the embarrassing in Comic-Con video, it's on the channel. We'll post a link in the
two
description.
parts.
Yes, and there's 2
Absolute
parts.
banger, by the way. You did a great job.
Mega
Thank you.
bangers.
Thank you. I embarrassed myself for your pleasure. We all know that most of our embarrassing stories happen when we're younger, when we haven't got developed brains. Not that I have a developed brain
And
now
your mum's
before you
highly
insult me
developed.
yourself, so I'm just going
Quote
to...
yourself.
I like to insult myself.
I was
before
absolutely
other
going to make
people
that
do.
joke, yeah.
Yeah, of course you were,
Yeah.
because I know you two bloody
Sorry.
well over the past
Yeah.
few years.
So, as I said, I was a highly developed brain, and I just spilt Coke on me.
Nice. Yeah. Well, that's clumsy. You can be intelligent and clumsy. When we were younger, there was things that we either did that was embarrassing or things that we felt embarrassed by. Were you embarrassed specifically about anything to do with your looks or the way you acted? Let's go in school. That's like secondary school time. This is like you're becoming self-aware of things.
Yeah.
What are you embarrassed by?
I mean, I big time had like the Justin Bieber haircut when I was at secondary school. So did my brother, which meant people would always mix us up, even though I don't actually think we look alike. So that was pretty embarrassing, kind of like weirdly following that trend.
It's just when they confuse you with your sister, that's when it just like
Yeah.
a bit awkward.
And I was probably at the time like, Justin Bieber's whatever, gay. 'Cause that's what people would say. And do you know what? I probably did say that. I wouldn't say that now. I think it's
But you just did.
blah, blah, blah. I was quoting a younger, less informed version of myself.
Sticking on the haircuts things before you move on.
Yeah.
It really pissed me off, and I have a bone to pick with Nan, actually. Where is she? Right, I have a bone to pick with you. Right, what was up with my bloody haircuts when I was younger? Why did I get a number 2 all the time? Am I going to fucking army camp? Honestly, I didn't know any better. I'm a child, okay? Why am I always getting a number 2 haircut?
It's easier.
It's easier.
It's easier to manage.
I'm the one who has to manage it.
Oh, to be fair, my
This
mum...
went on till I was like 13, until I was like, oh, actually, this looks shit.
When my mum used to cut my hair, it was flat on top, and then I just had the fringe. Oh, who is it from In-Betweeners? That has a haircut.
Jay?
It's not Jay. Simon. It was the Simon.
Well, did you have a little wavy bit?
No.
that just
It's
sticks up?
completely flat, and then just the fringe just like vertical upwards. But that was when my mum used to cut my hair. She'll always go, everyone loved it. Like all the kids at school started copying your hair. I'm like, I don't think that happened. So yeah, that again wasn't. And then when I started getting my hair cut for some reason, I was like, give me the beeb. That's what I want. So poor choices.
That's what all the girls were into at the time. You get the
Yeah, it didn't work out for me.
No.
No, didn't fool anyone. I wasn't Justin Bieber.
No. What about you, Callum?
I think for me, like, I was very much, I had like a friendship group who were like a bit weird. I was like probably like the more normal person in the group, but it was a bit of
God, they must have been weird.
Yeah. So a bit of a weird group of people.
No, we're not.
And, you know, I just sort of, until probably about year 10, year 11, I just sort of kept myself to myself. So it was really then that like I started pushing myself, like people knew who I was in the school and whatever. So yeah, I don't really think I had anything super embarrassing because I was just very conscious all the time of what people would think of me.
That was kind of like my school experience.
Yeah.
Is like I kind of just sat in the background and didn't want to.
But this is the weird thing.
You don't want to open yourself up to any criticism, so you kind of like stay in.
This is a strange thing for me. But then when it came to like things like even now, like presenting, when you do drama, I'd always like throw myself into it and try to do like really well. So it's a bit of a weird...
You wanted an outlet for that.
Yeah.
But you didn't want to, like, in your social...
I understand that, because like, when I'm in front of the camera, I'm just so much more confident.
Yeah, we could tell with the Comic-Con video. Jesus Christ.
I don't know what it is. It's like my balls just fucking... they're just grown.
That's all I thought. That's all I thought watching that. I was like, the balls you have to just do all this. Even...
But it's because it's in front of a camera. It's for the video, you know? It's just like, fuck it.
It's like you're wearing a mask.
I have a specific objective in mind. Yeah, but that's not me.
I'm Luke, the
like
crazy Comic-Con guy. I'm not Luke. So I've got I don't know if this is a good segue. This is where, I've got a good school age embarrassing story.
Go for it.
This really sucked. So, it must have been primary school. We were playing or we were playing like Bulldog or something.
Oh, Bulldog was a classic.
And we're playing it around the field, and the field had like. It wasn't just grass, like there was trees and there was like brambles and stuff around the edge. Mm-hmm. Anyway, this guy I went to school with ends up, we're all running in like a big pack, like in a big group. I can't remember whatever game we were playing. He ends up stacking it into this bush of like brambles and shit. And he comes out and he does look like a mess. He looks like fucking Carrie or whatever. Christ on a cross. Like he looked like a fucking state. So the teachers freak out and they're like, everyone sit. They sat everyone in the whole school on the playground. And we're just sitting there like until whoever pushed Harry admits it, we're not going back. Like you're going to sit here on the fucking, on the playground. And we're sitting there for hours and no one's fessing up to it. I was like in the mix of like people running with him. But I'm just like, we're sitting there and you just end up chatting to the people around you. So I'm like, this guy I went to school with, like quite a, like, I'd say like quite a popular guy, but always had a fucking opinion about something. I know I'm talking about that like he was like fucking 10 years old or whatever. But anyway, he goes, I'm chatting to him and I'm just throwing shit out. I'm like, maybe someone accidentally pushed him, like maybe he tripped. Like, how long are we going to sit here? He stands up and goes, Ross said he accidentally pushed Harry. So I was like, fuck. And then I'm in this situation where I'm like, I just took it. I literally had to get up in front of the whole school and I was just like, I guess this is just the reality now because how am I supposed to wind that back and go, no. What I actually said was that maybe someone else put, like, it's just, I just had to accept it. And then I go home and my brother and sister, the same age as me, so they straight away go to my parents like, Mum, Ross pushed over Harry at school and he was covered in blood and he had to admit it in front of the whole school.
This is why you should be an only
it was
child.
So mortifying. And again, it's like we were saying, I wanted to just be, I didn't want to be the centre of attention. I wanted to just fucking do my thing. No one pay attention to me. And all of a sudden I'm stood in front of the whole school getting a bollocking. I'm the one who's made everyone waste their time and sit on the fucking playground. I'm the one who pushed Harry and didn't fess up to it. I didn't do any of this shit. And now even thinking back, I'm gaslighting myself and I'm like, maybe I did push Harry. And I was like, no, I didn't. I fucking did. But
you were just chatting shit like you normally do.
I was just, if you're sat there for like...
You haven't changed, Ross. You still would do the same thing.
If you're sat there for hours...
That's the difference.
If you're sat there, you're going to start just speculating and talking like, oh, well, what actually happened? Like, I didn't see what happened. Did you see what happened? And I'm like, oh, maybe someone pushed him by accident. And he goes, Ross pushed him by accident. He just told me. Fuck me, man. Keep your mouth shut.
That was quite awkward.
Keep your mouth shut, man. That was really embarrassing. That was like that. Even looking back now, that's one of the ones I'm like, oh, that was fucking really not good.
Did you ever feel insecure about the way you looked? Because like, for me, I used to be really, really skinny and lanky.
Yeah, same.
And to the point where
same.
my family members, who I'm now criticising you because you kept saying this because it wound me up, and that's why you kept doing it, and that's how Ross keeps winding me up as usual. But I now just ignore you, and now you don't feel anything from it because
it's not as fun.
I'm not giving a reaction anymore. But when I did give a reaction, that's why they kept doing it.
It's way fun, yeah.
But like when I was skiing, they'd call me spaghetti because I'm obviously very skinny, and I'm waving my arms about because this is the first time I've been skiing, and yeah, I'm spaghetti arms, you know.
Yeah.
But like, I hated being this skinny. It's just my metabolism was.
I get the same shit. I get called like.
Obviously, I'm not now, but you know.
Yeah, like, oh, you look like a stick insect. Like, I was really like, I have slim wrists now, but like before, like my arms and stuff, just so like I look back at pictures and it is like, oh my god, it looks like I'm not eating. I'm fucking eating a shit ton.
So you looked anorexic.
My nan was, she's Italian. She's like, every time we went around, she's like, your mother, she's not feeding you. She's shoveling food down my. I'm eating it all, and I'm not putting on any weight. Like, yeah, I regret not starting the gym and stuff earlier because it does just make such a difference.
You should have gone at 12 years old.
Yeah, or definitely like when you're at college, you've got so much free time.
Same.
Just go to the gym.
There's so many things I wish I'd done, like driving at 17. For fuck's sake, why did I do that so late?
You should have done that.
I think like maybe like where I grew up, everyone like was like at 17 they were driving or learning to drive.
For me, it was like I can't wait until I don't need to get the train to college. Like I'm just going to learn to drive.
Yeah, I'm going to go on a quick tangent just on driving. I literally left it so late that when I decided to kick it into action was during COVID, and as a result, all the driving tests were like 6 months. Yeah, this was during COVID when I passed. Okay, 6 months wait per test, and then it got to the point where I finally moved out to my new flat, which is in all the earlier podcast episodes. My moving out date was on the same day as my third test, of which 2 weeks later my theory would have expired. And if my theory expired, that would have been a 3-month wait. And then you can't book a new driving test until you pass your theory. So that would have been a 6-month wait on top of the 3-month wait. So that's 9 months. And of which my flat lives in the middle of nowhere where it's half an hour walk to the train station and then McDonald's around the corner. That's it. Nothing else. I need to drive. I literally passed my test that day and then drove to my new flat that same day.
Yeah.
If I failed that test, it would have been 9 months, of which I would have been living in this new place. I probably wouldn't have moved out. I would probably just stayed where I was, but owned it for no reason.
Paying
for 9 months.
Mortgage on a place you're not living at.
Yeah, basically, because
that's
I
why
been fucked.
If you do it at college,
and that was the most stressful. Honestly, like the most high. You think driving tests are stressful enough as it is? That one was just off the charts, and literally. My reaction with my driving instructor in the end, I thought I failed because I failed on nonsense before, like I braked a tiny bit,
hit
too
a pedestrian,
hard
didn't even hit
him
that hard.
Just carried on going, fuck off. Right? And I thought I failed. I can't remember why, and then he was like, "You passed," and I didn't believe it. And then just honestly, I've never screamed so loud in the car while my driving instructor was there. I was just like, "Fuck yes!" And he was just sitting there.
I'm glad you recreated that as loud as you did in the car. Thanks.
That's literally.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have known.
I feel sorry for the instructor.
Yeah, he's just like, honestly, like I was over the moon.
Oh my god, you just reminded me of another embarrassing story of like shouting.
Go for it.
Oh fuck's sake! I was actually it relates to you, Callum. So I had this project at work. It was the Australia stuff.
Oh yeah,
cricket. So, and basically, Callum before he left the business used to handle it. He left, and I had to pick it up.
I would just like to say I was responsible for making sure this cricket went to where outside of Australia, because if I didn't arrange it, something would have gone wrong.
Yeah, so then it gets handed over to me, and I've got to arrange it. And Callum's done a fine handover. I'm aware, right, it's going to come up.
It's a mess.
Anyway, it transpires that every single email that gets sent out either copies in Callum or just doesn't include me. So I've got no pre-warning for months and months. All the people were tagged in. No one thinks to tag in.
They not think,
why
am I getting a bounce back from Callum's email?
So anyway, what transpires is the first match goes live at whatever fucking time in the morning because it's in Australia. And I wake up.
Context is you worked in a job where literally live telly doesn't happen unless you're doing these things behind the scenes, basically. Okay, so
I wake up and they're like, oh yeah, this cricket match, the first one of the whole season, why the fuck is it not set up or booked in? And I'm like, this is the first I've heard of it since Callum told me about it 4 months ago. And it's 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm on the phone. Anyway, I have a fucking night. I'm trying to piece everything together before anyone's even logged on to start work. And it's like, and I'm like kept playing catch up, and I'm like, this is an absolute.
Did Callum help you?
I'd never bothered Callum because I was really like, I'm gonna leave Callum out of this because when I leave my job, I don't want to hear from anyone. So I probably could have just bothered you.
I probably would have been fine.
I know. It was like a principle. Yeah. I was like, as a principle, I don't want to bother Callum, so I just kind of like put up with it. And anyway, the embarrassing part was, as everything was happening, I was trying to call this guy I work with to like help me out. And I started calling him, and he wasn't answering, and I went to another tab, and then I literally just on my laptop, I just went, fuck's sake, Jesus fucking Christ, this is all a load of shit, it's not my fucking fault, I'm getting a fucking bollock. And then I just hear, hi Ross, you right, mate? So he's answered the phone and just heard me have the meltdown of all meltdowns.
Mate.
And then I've just gone, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, yeah, just trying to get this stuff sorted, innit? Like I just played it off as if nothing happened. Never spoke of it again. We never mentioned that I had a fucking breakdown. It never came up. It was so fucking embarrassing, and it was just the culmination of everything. And then I'm literally just screaming down the phone. I didn't know I was down the phone, obviously. I was just screaming down the phone at this guy. And he's just like,
funny.
He's like, you right, mate? Everything going okay? No. Yeah, that was embarrassing. There you go.
So what was you like in school then? As a person, as a confidence level, yeah.
I would say, like I said earlier, quite mixed. I was always, particularly like in my lower part of senior school, I'd probably say I was quite conscious of myself because I was, my family wouldn't agree, but I was like chubby, like in my lower.
Chubby?
Yeah, not overly, but I was. I'm pretty sure that, like when you got the weigh-in in year 6, I think I was overweight, almost obese.
You got on the Wii Fit board and then...
Yeah, probably. But I was always very conscious
on the Wii Fit board.
of that. But I mean, I wasn't conscious enough that I was like, I need to go to the gym. It would have been good if I would have done that.
Well, now you go 5 days a week.
Yeah, well, I'm not getting into that again because last time I did, I got abuse from someone online anyway.
Did you?
Yeah, I saw that.
One of the comments.
The comment.
Who
but it's like...
Callum, I went 5 days this week.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You just...
Fuck people are so opinionated, and especially when it comes to like stuff like
you
fitness.
are so... Actually, keep doing this, because people are just going to get so triggered by you saying that they're going to comment more, and therefore boost.
Yeah, you're going to criticise Callum's workout routine when you don't know what his goals are, you don't know what he's working towards. You're just word salading into the fucking comments.
Do you know one thing I've noticed? People from like India on YouTube comments are very
Show Bob and Vagine.
Vociferous about it. They're like, with love from India. Like in the comments.
They want to let you know it's from India, which is kind of sweet.
They're very passionate. They're also a lot of the fans from India on certain YouTube channels, always very passionate and very defensive of like the content creators. Anyway, sorry, I've gone completely off track. So
very off track.
So school, I was probably, like I said earlier, I was confident and this is why I never got in university. Why other people weren't confident in presenting, because I was really confident because I was always doing it at school and sixth form, and I never really got why other people struggled with it. But I'd probably say I was confident in certain situations, but probably the rest of the time I was quite reserved as an individual.
I thrived off of your confidence in presenting. I think that's really helped me in life. Generally, I'm being nice because I'm on camera. Otherwise, I'd be a cunt off camera. But you know, no. Generally, like your presentations were just
you set the bar high, and then we're like, fuck.
And then as a result, because I'm a highly competitive person, I'm like, Callum's doing me dirty here. I need to one up him, right? How can I one up Callum? And that's literally been my driver for presentation.
Drove you forward,
skills.
yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
To the point it's like, well, what do I have that Callum doesn't have? I'm sick of video editing. Fuck you. I'll do presentations, but I'll just submit a video instead and make it funny.
Yeah.
And I started doing all these internal videos and stuff at work. And that was like my format rather than slick slides because I'm terrible at Photoshop. Which is just leaning into your skills. So, you know, you're good at... You do the thumbnails for our channel.
Yeah.
Banger thumbnails.
Because you've been doing this stuff just for fun for years anyway, so it's just like a natural progression.
I don't know if you appreciated all the bald heads on the last thumbnail.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, the Comic-Con one with the lady, like... Yeah, that's fun.
Oh,
that was awesome.
Yeah, Callum does the thumbnails, okay? They're fucking bangers.
They are.
Anyway... So back to, you know, how we were at school. That was me. So I let me guess what you were like.
You can guess, yeah.
So let's guess. Ross, I think you were probably, you know, like the outer orbit of the popular kids.
I think that sums up both of us, to be honest. You reckon?
I don't think for you. I think for you,
Okay.
I think you would have been like semi-cool, but not the inner cool. Not like the ones who are like, oh, they're so cool. I think you were probably... I was probably gonna say like with like the grungy people.
No, I think Luke was. I think Luke would like. I know. Obviously, we know a bit about.
Yeah.
But Luke was like mix of like the troublemakers and like the nerds. Because not nerds in a bad way, but that was like what you were interested.
I was a fucking loser. Right. So my progression in school, right, is, yeah, I'm not ashamed of it, but yeah, I didn't. Absolutely was the complete opposite of popular, whatever you want to call that, if that is loser, whatever. But I did have a phase of like being a troublemaker. I do shit like, I'm gonna blame it on this one guy. To be honest, if you're watching, you know,
is that your fault?
This is all your fault. It's not. It kind of is, but yeah. I like it would start by progressive. It would start with just simple things like, oh, let's climb rugby posts because that's cool. Okay, sure. And then that'll just progress to, oh, when everyone's lining up in the playground, let's just not and let's just hide on the field, and then our teacher catches us, and then we get detention. Why? What did that achieve? Absolutely nothing. We were going to go to class like afterwards anyway. It's just that didn't want to line up. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm lining behind a field and just. Yeah, fucking...
Just rebelling against authority.
And then there was another funny situation. This was embarrassing. And then he says to me, he's just like, oh, yeah, just scrunch up this piece of paper and throw it at this car. Like, well, it's such a dick thing to do, but I'm dead to do it and I'm fucking 14, so fuck it. And I do it, and it's the teacher. So, obviously, I get in detention again because I threw a fucking piece of paper at the teacher's car.
Yeah.
So it could have been anyone. But to be fair, that was probably a better result than someone coming out and fucking beating me up, you know?
So I can fill in about me at school.
Can I just say one thing before that? So one thing my parents always say about you too, I was like, if you were at school, you would never have been friends with these people.
You reckon?
And I think...
Why me?
I think if you two were friends, you would have been grouped together. And I think I would have been highly conscious of that, and I would never have been friends with you if we met at school. And I think... Hearing that, 100% they're accurate.
That was a specific year.
I know, but that would have followed you
I
around.
literally went through phases of like being super awkward and not talking to anyone, and then just being a dick, and then mellowing out.
So I can tell a bit of the story. So I remember very vividly in primary, like year 6, just before you start. I remember I had my group of friends. There was like my group of friends, and then there was like the rest of the class. There was like 5 of us, and then the rest of the class of like 20 boys. Well, no, not even that. Like 10 of them.
Were you all boys?
No, it was a class of 30. So there was like 10 lads, and then there was the 5 of us, or 4 of us even. They were all friends, and I had my friends. And I always thought, naively, I was like, I'm not popular or unpopular. These are my mates, and they're all mates. No, it was that they were the popular kids, and we were specifically not. And I remember one of my friends coming to me and going, yeah, you realise we're like the unpopular kids. And it was like this paradigm shift in my mind. I was like, oh my God, it's true. I never realised. Like, it didn't even fucking occur to me.
I knew it full well. I was very self-conscious.
So that happened. And then I remember, it's embarrassing. I remember having conversations with my mates at the time, like, when we go to secondary school, we're all going to get girlfriends. It's going to be different. Like, everything's going to change.
What was you like around women in secondary school, Ross? Obviously, this doesn't apply to Callum, but...
Do you know what? It started. I peaked like year 7. I was so naive, and like I would kind of talk to anyone. I didn't even think of it as like a thing. Yeah. And there was like a few girls that I think liked me because I didn't have any baggage from like, oh, I'm the loser. I was just a new kid. They were all girls from different schools as well, so they didn't really know me. And I think like probably in year 7, like there was like a couple girls that liked me, and I missed all of the signs, and then slowly just regressed into like getting back into my pet. So like Callum, you said I was hanging in the popular circles. Like I don't think I was ever disliked by anyone. I'm quite a laid back guy.
Good.
But put it this way, like I would sit at this table at lunch in secondary school, and it was a bit of a mix of everyone. It had my friends there, but it was also just anyone who was like on the periphery of like didn't have anywhere to sit would just sit on our table. If there was a new kid in school, they'd always end up on our table. So that was where we were in like the social hierarchy. Oh. And I was like...
You're not the jock.
I was like probably higher up among that table, but that's like as far as I got. And yeah, I was just very much like didn't want a lot of attention. We talked about gym and stuff, and I was self-conscious in that I didn't want to go to the gym because I knew I was like, I'm so skinny and so weak, it's going to be like really embarrassing. And that was like the biggest.
Makes it worse.
That was the biggest hurdle I had to overcome. Because you're gonna. Do you know what? You're gonna show up the first day.
Nobody cares.
No one gives a shit. Now everyone's doing their own thing. Literally, no one gives a shit. No one cares what you're lifting. No one cares what you're doing. But in your head, you're like.
I feel like that's in general.
Everyone's gonna watch what you're doing. Everyone's gonna go, "Oh, you're so weak," and like, it was all in my head. And I wish I could go back to my younger self. Like people would say, like, what would you say to your younger self? Like the advice you'd give. But that's what it was. And then I kind of stayed in that. College as well was like, I kind of kept my friends. We had a great time, but I just didn't branch out. I just had my mates. We did stuff with my mates.
I was kind of the same. I was very much kind of talking to my own mates. And then when other people approached, I was like, I'd say I was in loser territory, but I never got bullied.
No, the college I went to, it had the refectory, which was where everyone eats lunch, and then there was another part of the building which was coined the rejectory, and it was where everyone played chess and played like D&D.
Oh, I love chess, man.
I must admit,
and the joke always is like, okay, I wasn't in the rejectory, but
you just floated.
I could have ended up there. No, I never went in the rejectory. But again, it's like maybe I would have had a good time in there, but it was my own insecurities. I was like, well, I'm not like those people. So maybe I would have fucking had a great time playing chess. Like,
actually, that brings back some memories because I used to go to like the library at lunch. Because
I never got to that level. There was groups, but I just couldn't read.
Not because I didn't have friends, but one, it had air conditioning, which was lovely in summer, and two, I just wanted to focus on my studies, so I'd go in there and study. So
sad.
Yeah, but
imagine focusing on studies.
Anyway,
I'm joking.
So yeah.
Well, yeah. That gives you an idea of our social status. I think I'm peaking in life later in life, which is always a good thing.
No, that's what happens. Like
you got to peak later in life.
Right. I remember in school, like I was so fucking awkward around women.
Mm.
Like, I just wouldn't talk to
Still
them
are.
whatsoever. I'm not now. See, here's the key difference, right? When I was at you're a dick. When I was in school,
It's good for the gym.
when I was in school, I was a fucking loser and I didn't know how to talk to women. Now I do know how to talk to women, but I'm still a loser. But that's beside the point. I own that shit. I fucking own it, right?
Yeah.
I've developed the key critical skill, which actually makes you seem more confident, of not giving a flying fuck.
Actually, just be yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm my unfiltered self. You know what I'm like. I've actually had feedback from this. I'm not going to say who it is, but someone has said that out of the three of us on this podcast, I am more like myself than
You are
all three
unapologetic.
of
Yeah,
us.
no, I completely agree. You are completely yourself.
So how I am acting on camera this
Yeah.
kind of contradicts what I said earlier. Right. So right now I'm speaking the exact way I normally would.
yeah.
But if I am on camera, I do feel more confident, but I'm still the same. That's where I'm going.
For me, it's like the way I talk to my mates might be different to the way I would talk to, I don't know, people I know less well or like whatever.
Yeah.
I think you talk to everyone the same way,
Yeah.
which
So
is unique to you.
So I'd say how you're talking on the podcast is how you talk to us,
Yeah,
but that's not necessarily how you talk to everyone, as you said.
I guess so. I guess to an extent,
But
I'm
I
like,
think
I
you're conscious of the fact that this is going online.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I can't. You can ignore that's like the barrier for me, which is like I know this is going.
Is that
out
because
somewhere.
I'm editing it and I know I have? I could just.
I don't
No,
think so. I think
no.
they're just a
You wouldn't
very-
put anything out that I wouldn't want to go out anyway. But it's like I said before, like I always liked the fact that I had like no online presence.
Yeah.
And I just didn't put anything out there. And now I'm putting something out there. It's like I have to adjust to that and like address that and like work out.
Do you think you're really putting in effort to censor or think about what you're saying?
I think it's subconscious, but I think I am.
You reckon?
Yeah. Not that I have anything to hide, but I don't want to like, I don't know, upset
Cancel
anyone
yourself.
or.
So I was going to follow up by that by saying how awkward I was around women. That it was only.
Have you got a story?
Yeah, it was only a natural progression of that. Which obviously, if I can't talk to people in real life, I'm going to talk to people online, and that's just
On
the
Kick?
way. No, not on Kick. It's worse.
Did you have Kick?
I had Kick back in the day. Yes. It's worse.
So
than
many
that. So
people tried to. So many sexy women in your local area tried to scam me on Kick.
All right,
It was rampant.
All right, fucking.
rampant.
Right,
I never had
I'm
BBM.
telling my
BBM.
No.
Okay, right, moving on. All right, so my story. My first girlfriend, who I mentioned earlier in the whole episode,
Jonathan.
how I met her. Guess where I met this person online.
No, you've told me.
Have I told you?
I
Do
know.
you remember,
I
Callum?
know the answer.
This is very inappropriate then.
Say it then.
Chatterbait.
Chatterbait.
Yeah. You remember
If I met someone on Chatterbait, I'd say I'm a fucking legend.
It was chat roulette, I believe. Omegle.
No, you're wrong.
They do.
What?
No, you're wrong. Okay, now imagine being in year 9, year 10. I don't
I'm
know.
sure it was one of those video.
What was really hot?
It was Omegle.
No, it wasn't that. But that was hot back then, yeah. It was Minecraft.
Really hot.
Oh.
Fuck. I'm sure you
So-
told a story about meeting a girl on Omegle.
Okay, so my first girlfriend I met on Minecraft.
That's so sick.
The only
Did you have Minecraft sex? Did you put your beds together and sleep in the same beds?
The only reason I pulled that off was because I was on this server, this online server, and it was a Hunger Games tournament because Hunger Games was a rage back then.
And she was hungry for you.
No. So,
Hungry for some
fair enough.
sausage. Chipolata or Cumberland.
But basically,
Chipolata for Luke.
I won the Hunger Games. I was the last person alive. I won it on Minecraft. Okay.
I love the Hunger
And then
Games
as
Minecraft.
my reward for winning that tournament was I got admin privileges on the server, and that meant I could fly around and do shit, and that meant
So you groom this poor girl with your admin privileges and your
Can I just
and your
confirm-
godlike
Basically-
Can I just
status.
confirm your age at this time?
21.
year 10.
Okay.
So about 15, 14.
Yeah.
She was
the same age.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Please don't say anything inappropriate. What was that?
I don't know.
Yeah, so carrying on. What that meant was I could like show stuff off and talk to people and text and blah blah.
What you're saying is
And
you had a kind of godlike status within
You know
this
what?
digital realm.
Money does equal fucking power, folks, because this is a passive
Sounds like a
example of
cult.
this. This is like when you're in a position of power, and I was on the Minecraft server. That means you get to talk to people.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you disagree with that. That is the way the world
I can't
works.
believe you've never told us because we
I
know
thought it was
we
only
know
one.
about a different girlfriend that you met on chat roulette,
It wasn't Meagle.
Omegle. But we didn't know. I didn't know you met a girlfriend
So-
on Minecraft, which, by the way, is like one of the coolest things I've ever heard.
That is quite funny, actually. You know what? I found it really embarrassing back then, but now I realise that was like
That's
how
so
did I pull
fucking
that off?
funny.
Yeah, won the Hunger Games,
Oh.
and then after chatting for a while on the server, you know, and then private DMs on Minecraft, I added her
Oh
on
my
Skype.
god, you were like the Sparta that like defeated all the other Spartans, and she was like, "Oh my god, he's the
You're
hero."
the Sparta that defeated all the other Spartans. What the fuck?
Yeah, what's
These
the
Spartans.
film?
300?
This is Sparta. No,
300.
No, I'm thinking of Gladiator. I'm saying you're
This is Sparta is 300.
You're the top gladiator.
I'm the gladiator.
Is what I'm saying.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's.
You're Russell Crowe.
Right, so, and then I added her on Skype, and then that was actually like my first long distance relationship.
Oh, how long?
And I only met
What
up,
continent are we talking?
and this was the same person with the rebound thing I talked about earlier.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I know then.
But while I was dating her, I only actually met up with her for 2 days because it was long distance.
Yeah.
And that was so fucking awkward. Like, I got my nan and my brother to fucking get on a train with me up York because I'm a young folk. You know,
Yeah. Young
I've
lad.
done that, and then her parents were there and stuff because we were both young, but you know we were in love, and it was the first relationship.
That
kind of
Minecraft
thing.
connection's unbeatable.
Yeah, fair enough. And I have fond memories of those 2 days because it was the first experience of that, and especially being a really awkward kid in school.
Yeah.
Like, I was awful, and I'm almost jealous of my sister because she's the popular girl, allegedly.
But you're like a
in
trailblazer
school.
because loads of kids now are doing like e-dating,
E-dating.
and you're like trailblazing because you were like there first. You did it ages. You were like a
I did it when
trendsetter.
Minecraft was hot shit.
Yeah, you were a trendsetter. Like, how many people were e-dating like 10 years ago?
I mean, they just
I
called
remember
it
being really
online
embarrassed
dating.
by that. But like nowadays, if I met someone online, I guess it's like it's not it's frowned upon as like not being the optimal way to meet someone. But if I did have a genuine connection with someone, God, I sound like I'm on Love Island. But if I did,
Yeah.
I wouldn't give a flying fuck how I met them. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I remember back then, I was just so awkward by it. I didn't know how to say how we met. It's just.
Oh,
like,
I get that completely.
It's just shit that doesn't. It doesn't actually.
You want to? I've definitely pretended before, like, oh yeah, we met so and so, but it's like, no, you met on like a dating app, and it was like,
just
like,
own
yeah.
it. It's fine.
It's tough, isn't it? But it is tough. Like, you get that with age, but like you realize like actually none of it matters. Like, it doesn't matter what anyone thinks about you, but you have to learn that. Like, that comes with time. You get in your head.
Just be yourself.
Huh?
Don't
Ross's
give a fuck.
remarks. This is what this quick section
Yeah.
is. Be yourself.
You
Be
can't
yourself.
be embarrassed if you're not embarrassed by it yourself.
Yeah. It's all in your head. It's all your own reality.
Yeah.
Damn.
So we were talking about me being a troublemaker at school. One of the other things I'd done.
You were the Bart Simpson.
I was the Bart Simpson. I don't know why I did. I thought this was cool. This is like proper problematic. Okay, this is less embarrassing. This is like my biggest fucking
Regret.
I actually feel like a massive dickhead for this.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Did you use the wrong pronouns? What happened?
No. So I went on to. You know,
You're gonna fist bump me for that one. It's topical. He's leaving me hanging.
I'm gonna fist you for that one.
Fuck. It's left me hanging.
Yeah.
I didn't say fist bump.
Right, so we decided that me and
so
this person
stupid. I
who
can't
was
have
a
a
troublemaker
stupid
with me was, it would be really cool to climb up this tree in the park, which would then lead us onto these rooftops.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're basically, it's like a, I don't know what they call it. It's like back alleys with a load of different sheds.
Okay.
And they have all the curved roofs. So these roofs are not stable whatsoever.
Oh, like corrugated, like material.
Corrugated iron.
Yeah.
The curved ones.
Yeah. You can just fall through. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we found this tree that allowed us to easily climb up on them, and we just thought it was a cool thing. Like, we're explorers, we're doing something adventurous.
That is fun though. Like when you're younger, like just climbing
You
on
would do
shit.
like
And,
that. You do random things, but obviously these are people's property, so it's not cool. But yeah, we were doing that, and then we're like, oh, let's show off our new like locale we found to some new people. So we brought a couple other people along to this next
Couple of babes.
No.
Ah.
I told you I didn't talk to women in school. This person thought it would be a genius idea when we mentioned that the rooftop wasn't necessarily, don't fall through. Just basically don't stomp your feet. And then he's like, so what will take it to break? So he decides to jump up and down on the same spot consecutively, and guess what? It breaks. He falls through. He breaks his ankle.
Nice. That's fun.
The end result then is my mate at the time decides to, he has this tiny piece of string, okay, that's connected to his belt or something. It's fucking nothing. It's not like a rope or anything. And he just turns around to me and then makes the joke, he should have held my safety line. And then I just pissed myself laughing while this guy
in agony.
Is in agony.
Oh god!
Fell through the roof, can't get out, and I'm just laughing. I'm in tears laughing because it's just such the most inappropriate joke at the wrong moment.
I could see you buckling over that.
And then,
how'd you get him out?
Yeah, 999. Fucking
oh no! It's someone's property.
Guy comes down. I think they have to get a fucking ladder or something.
Did you get fined for that? Like, what happened with the
I don't
owner?
think so, because we were stupid kids. But
wow.
And the other thing I feel really bad about was, like, one of my mates was still there as they called up, and then we just left. Yeah, honestly, it's
no.
I've been plagued by this moment my whole life.
You keep thinking back to it, yeah.
I keep thinking back to it. It's like, this is the worst thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah. You can't escape that.
Like, yeah.
Did you lie about it after? Or do you, like, you just didn't tell anyone? I don't know.
Well, it was funny because my dad found out about it. And then this was like the baller response. It's like, instead of just fucking grounding you, it's like, right, you're not leaving the house until you do a 40-page essay about what's the most structurally sound roof. So I learned a lot about rooftops.
So you knew which ones to climb next time.
So I knew which ones would fucking break if you jumped on them.
That's one way of dealing with the problem.
Like that. Yeah, that's
pretty funny.
That's grounded. So yeah.
The
only other silly story. This is a short one. One of them, like, we end up crossing the train tracks, and then this guy's just like, "Oh no, that's illegal." No, it's not illegal. What are you talking about? There's fucking steps.
There was an actual crossing.
There's a crossing to get over it. So we cross, and then he's not wanting to cross because he thinks it's bad. So then we come back, and then we're trying to convince him. And it's like, no, it's fine.
He's one of your mates.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then we cross again, and then he's still not coming out, and blah, blah, blah. And then we go back again, and then the train's coming now, so we wait. And then the train's already slowing down. I'm like, why is it slowing down? It must have seen on camera way ahead in advance.
That you're just going back
and then the train driver then, like, lowers the fucking window. He's basically like, guys, just so you know, the police are coming because, like, you're playing chicken with the train.
Oh no!
Fuck's sake!
Oh no! And you weren't.
It's just because this guy wasn't fucking about for so. Just
That's
cross
rough.
the fucking tracks.
That
was awkward. Yeah. So basically, that's the only two 999 instances.
Oh, there you go.
Other than like my bag getting stolen in London, which they did nothing of. But yeah.
Or Ross throwing a bin bag near a police van.
What? When did that happen?
I remember that.
What do you remember?
we was in London. We'd gone to a bar. This was like very soon after we'd started the apprenticeship, like maybe
I was a young man.
Our second week at uni. And we went to a bar, and then like Ross is brossing, and
his alter ego, Bross.
Yeah, so he is being his alter ego, and then decides to throw. You know, in London they always put the bin bags on the step, and he decides
that's a
to throw it
terrible
in the
thing to
road.
do.
And then the police van comes up and goes, "Right, mate, what's going on here?" And then you're just like, "Could you just throw the bin bag for no reason in the road?" I mean, it's quite stupid.
Yeah.
Do you not remember?
I don't
remember this now.
I don't have any accountabilities for the actions of Bross.
Anyway.
What a shit thing to do. God's sake.
It was just like, it was pointless as well.
Yeah. I agree.
Absolutely pointless.
Oh, I fucking suck. I'm going to stop drinking.
Do you have any situations where you just look back on it and you think, that was stupid?
Yeah, starting this podcast.
Why did I do that? Why did I do that?
And
maybe I'll start with one.
Yeah.
My nan constantly reminds me of this because I was too young to remember, but like, I was terrible at swimming. I could swim, you know, but I literally got kicked out of the club because I started swimming in the wrong direction. I was basically a troublemaker. This isn't just leisurely swimming. This is like a club, and you're meant to do your lanes, and I'm just going zigzags and doing all sorts of shit. But there was a time before that when I couldn't swim, and that was when we went to America, and I was 6 years old. And again, I'm the only 10-year story because my nan literally will never fucking let it go and decides to tell me every single other week that this happened and tells everyone. So I'm like, well, fucking let's broadcast it to the world right now. Fine. So when I was 6
your nan
in
wants you
America,
to speak louder so she can hear.
I'm talking about the America story. Some teenagers, we're at a waterfall. I'm with my granddad, my nan, and my brother. My brother's 6 years older than me. I'm 6 years old. I can't swim. There's some teenagers. They start diving down a waterfall to a big pool. And I'm like,
I can do that.
I had fucking balls when I was 6. I'm just saying. Like, I did not give a fuck. I was like, oh, that looks fun. I'll do that as well. But I can't swim. So obviously I jumped down the waterfall. Would never do that now.
No.
It gets to the bottom. Well, that was fun while I did it, but I'm now drowning. My brother had to jump down and save me. Literally.
Oh my God.
So that was my near-death experience. I don't know if you have any near-death experiences.
For me, it's a flat no.
No?
No.
You're so safe. Basic.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
There was another near-death experience I had.
Yeah.
Right? Literally, this massive oak tree, okay? And, dude, I can't believe I'm remembering this. My mate was on top of, because of course you climb trees when you're a teenager, because why not? My mate is on the branch. I'm on the floor. The massive, thick oak branch literally snaps, falls down onto the ground. Literally, the spikes of the branches, and these aren't sticks, these are thick. Like, one lands behind my head, the other one's on the left, the other one's on the right. He's still on the branch as he falls down to the ground, at least like 2.5 meters, I think. It literally just avoids my face. And he falls down, and I'm literally lying on the ground.
Literally.
Wow.
How the fuck? That's so lucky.
Yeah.
Like, everything about the way that branch was positioned just dodged my body. I think this must have been like year 11.
Yeah. You could have got fucked.
Yeah.
Damn.
Nearly died twice. There you go. So you don't have any near-death experiences?
No. Not really, man. That kind of sucks. I wish I did.
You were just like the wild child.
I did get into a lot of awkward situations, yeah. Did I have any others? I don't think I did.
I fucking hope not. Otherwise, you're not long for this world. I've got one which is really actually quite embarrassing. And I was like such a goody two shoes. Like the idea of getting like a detention like fucking ruined. I was such a little pussy. And
Are you talking past tense?
No, but I've embraced it now. No, I was in assembly and there were some girls sat next to me, and I think I was trying to impress them. It's really embarrassing. I think I was in year, I want to say 4 or 5, something like that, primary school age. And we're in assembly, and they're sending out everyone line by line out of the assembly, and I was literally just sticking my foot out and just like going, "Oh, look at me, I'm sticking my foot." Like, and the teacher's clocked it that I'm just basically tripping people up. She's like, "You fucking detention." Like, she didn't swear. I don't know why I swore. You.
Why would you do that?
Detention. After school. And I was honestly, I just started crying. I don't think in the assembly, but I went home to my mum and I was like, "Oh, they put me in detention. I didn't do nothing wrong." And then she was like, "Right, if you didn't do it and your story is that you were stretching your leg out," because I think that's the bullshit I made up, "we'll go down to the school and I'll have the teacher explain to me why she's lying about it." Because my mum's obviously like, "You're talking shit and you should probably do the detention." And I go down to school and then I'm bullshitting to the teacher. And then the bit that is embarrassing and it still makes me upset is like, they were like, "Right, swear hand on heart, like swear on everything that you're telling the truth, you're not lying." And I did. I'm not like superstitious. I don't actually think it means anything. Like when people are like, "Oh, if you swear hand on heart," like
bullshit.
It doesn't actually like logically and materialistically mean anything. No. But it like symbolically the fact that I did it, I really was like upset with myself. And like I still think about it now. I'm like, why did I do that? Why didn't I just take? Because I'd done the dickhead thing, and I got punished for it, and I should have just taken it. Why was I such a little? Yeah, why was I such a little cry? I don't know if I wanted like a clean slate where I could be like, "Oh, I've never had a detention," but it just bothered me so much. Yeah, and so I don't know why I fucking did that. It's so embarrassing.
I was very similar. I never had detention ever. So, but there was one time when the whole class got detention. I wasn't part of it, so I turned up and I went, "Does this go on my record?" And the guy went, "No," and I was like, "Oh, thank the Lord," because I was just like so conscious of
the Lord
having clean record.
I only have one more story at school.
Yeah,
and I saved this one because it's the worst thing I've done at school ever. It's awful.
Worse than your friend falling through a roof, him breaking his ankle, laughing at him, running away, abandoning him.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And it involves singing.
Oh.
Now, listen, if you do karaoke or anything and you own it, who cares? It doesn't matter. But at the time, I didn't feel that way because I'm a youthful.
You're a little
teenager.
shit.
Yeah.
Basically.
Let's go with that. And it was like, it was in music class, and we all had to make a song. And I ended up in the dead group of just, it was shit. And it was the most emo fucking song you could ever think of.
Can you sing it for us now?
It was like, pain and suffering and all that kind of shit. Like
any more? Have you got any more?
Lyrics. No, I'm not fucking
okay, sorry. No, right, I enjoyed that.
It was that kind of emo shit, you can imagine.
I can imagine you being into that when you were younger.
I wasn't. The only kind of emo band I liked was Linkin Park, which
it's pretty
I still liked.
Pretty entry level.
Yeah, so it's like I wasn't even like that. It was just that was the song. I don't know who wrote the song. I probably contributed, but it was fucking dead. Now you go into like the recording studio while they played it out to the class outside that you can't see their reactions, and then it was uploaded to the rest of the school can view it afterwards. And my singing was fucking awful. Like, in hindsight, if I was to do that again, I would have just memed it. I would have just done something funny.
Yeah.
You know, but like,
you did it sincerely.
I didn't know how to sing whatsoever. Like, I could meme sing now.
But this was in a pre-meme era.
Yeah. So, and it was it was the worst, and everyone was laughing. And it was just the fucking most awful shit. Like, that's what I mean. If you're not good at something, who cares? Just lean into your embarrassment, and it's not embarrassing. But I was embarrassed, and therefore it came across as embarrassing, and therefore that is the worst moment of my life.
Oh,
The thing is, like, that's not that bad compared to your like other stories.
yeah, I can't say that's worse.
No, but it is worse.
The
For you,
embarrassment
Because
embarrassment
from my
wise.
cringe level,
Yeah.
from like when I think throughout life, that is the worst thing
Cringe
that like
meters off the
hurts my
charts,
soul in terms of everything about that situation. I just hate that moment.
Fair enough.
If you were to say, if you could change one moment in school, like go back in time and
Or
change one
relive
moment,
any moment.
that would be the moment I would change. That's it. I just sing fucking Lonely Island or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Facts.
I don't know. Yeah. I just hate everything about that. That is my most embarrassing moment. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to an age-appropriate time when you're allowed to start drinking. Are there any interesting, embarrassing drinking stories? And I would just like to start this by just outing Callum with his. On one hand, I think it was one of the moments that first revealed to us how much of a great friend he thinks of us.
No idea.
Like,
It was a
how
connecting
close we
moment.
were.
I have no idea where this is going.
Because the truth comes out when you're drunk. On the other hand, it was also a really cunt move. So listen, me and Ross.
I don't think
for
so.
a brief moment in time, it was funny. Me and Ross, for a brief moment in time, were both on the lash. Let's say on the.
You were both in an off period, weren't you? With no.
We were
partners?
both single gentlemen.
Yeah, both wanted to get in, and of course, the luxury of having a gay best friend is they can be a good wingman theoretically. However, this does not apply to Callum. He is terrible. Let me explain. So, Callum, we're at a period of time where we haven't yet gone to each other's houses. So you've gone to mine and my shithole place. We're doing Ross's thing. But when it was Callum's turn, and he takes us to his local club.
Yeah, we wanted to all see each other's hometowns, so we were like, yeah. This was Callum's turn to like show us his local area, show us his local club.
And for context, this was like my local town, and then going to Las Vegas,
which happens to be my local town now, just in coincidence, but yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
So then we're going there, and Callum's like, "Oh, I'll wingman you."
And I just want to say, for context, this is the only time I've ever been to that club and pub.
Yeah, for good reason.
Yeah.
So Callum's like, "Oh, I'll wingman you," and so you think, "Oh yeah, a gay guy goes up to the girls, is like, I'm gay," and has a chat, and it's fine. It's not a problem. You're not hitting on them. You start the conversation. It's like you're just not afraid to, because you can.
Yeah, he's being a mate.
Yeah, he's being a mate. He's being a good. And then after
for context, I'd only just come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As well. So I was useful idiot for you.
Yeah, exactly. So
no.
So you thought.
Then me and Ross, we're standing around. We're kind of looking over at Callum, just like unapologetically going up to all these girls.
Talk to everyone, like literally, like talking to this group.
And then
this
he's like,
group.
and then Callum's like, we see him in the distance. We can't hear what they're saying, but then he's pointing back at us, okay, and he's going back up to. It's like, this is Ross and Luke and blah 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 and Wingman.
Yeah, we're far enough away. We can't actually hear what he's saying. But our assumption is, Callum's going up to groups of girls. He's pissed. He's going. Oh, these are my mates. Like, you should go and talk to them. We think he's wingman on us. Yeah, what was actually going on?
It comes to light later on. I don't know whether that was the day after.
No, I'll tell you why it came to light. Because we're going around the club. All these people Callum's talked to, we're just getting like really funny looks, and we can't work out.
Dirty looks.
People are like glaring at us.
What's he saying? What?
Well, hang on. If he was talking us up, is that just freaked them out? Like, what has he actually said? Yeah, it turns out Callum, they were all people Callum went to school with. We talked a little bit about school, and these were people that you didn't like. That were not very nice to you.
No. Look, these are people that obviously I always interact with, I wouldn't say I was bullied, but they were sort of like very dominating in, say, the classes.
People you know at
Right.
school.
Yeah.
So this
I
is,
weren't friends with
this
them.
is what it turned out Callum actually said. He went up to them, which we think he's wingmanning, and he said, "You guys are all cunts. These are my real friends.
Yeah.
Not you should go talk to them."
And
It was just an
then
insult.
I think I
and
said-
that's why they looked at us like,
I think that's when I said, and after that I said, I'm going to be your boss or prime minister one day.
Oh, so good.
I'm going to be your boss.
So,
Yeah, and then we had to spend the rest of the night in this club where Callum had just cussed out quite a lot of people there.
Literally
we had a good
everyone
night.
There.
We
It was
had a good night. So
however, I'm sure every single female was like called a cunt and therefore didn't want to go near us.
yeah, it didn't
Great.
work out.
So-
They didn't want to go near us anyway, but that didn't help. So
it was interesting.
That like reduced your chance from 1% to minus 10%.
yeah,
So I think I don't.
Callum's never acted like this before or since. So it was a
This
one.
is very
a
out of
real,
character.
like off kilter.
It was
moment,
a
wasn't
character building moment. It was like you had to get that out.
I
You
really
needed to
felt-
get out your
I
system.
really needed to get it out of my system because it would have only been like
This
what,
was like years of baggage, basically.
2 or 3 years after I would have left school or sixth
Yeah.
form, or the year after I left sixth
Yeah,
form.
yeah.
So it was sort of still recent enough that I needed to feel like I needed to tell them that.
Yeah, and to
I
reiterate,
think one
fuck
of,
all those cunts.
for one of the people, I was like, "Sorry, I don't remember you." I was like that to them. That's been really horrible.
I don't remember you, but also fuck you.
do you not ever get in those situations like you go to your local pub or something that you've been to
No.
what, and you met someone from school
Mm.
and you're just like, and you start having a chat and you're in a friendly chat, and then like after 20 minutes or the day after you think, why did I talk to you? You were a dickhead.
Yeah, I get it. Well, I get it where it's like every single time I talk to the same people from my local area, it's just like, oh yeah, how? I mean, probably not now because we're past uni age, but it was always like every single time I talked to the same person 5 times. How's uni? Yeah, how are you getting on? It's like, don't go. Well,
I don't care.
yeah, they clearly didn't listen the last 5 times where I told them what I'm actually doing in my life. It is pretty funny, but yeah, complete waste of time.
Yeah.
Not interested.
Yeah. So any other drinking stories?
I've got one. This is a banger because this is the first time I ever went clubbing. And I had a mate who's about a month older, and for whatever reason, in that, like, this is turning 18. So in that month, turning 18, he'd basically become like a seasoned professional of like going clubbing. He'd probably been like twice a week, 3 times a week, every day since he turned. So even though I was only a little bit younger, he was just, at this point, he was like, I'm a clubbing pro. And I was going to clubbing for the first time, and I was just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, I'm literally a deer in headlights. Everything's too much. I've never been on a dance floor. It's just I was just a fucking mess. And I remember we had the classic, like, he was talking to this girl, and her friend was there. And I wasn't personally that attracted to the friend. I'm not saying she was bad looking, but it wasn't for me.
your type.
And it was the classic, and this is my first time clubbing, and I'm sprung into a scenario where it's like, oh, you need to wingman and hang out with this person so I can get with the girl. So that's what Ted's thinking. And Ted's just like swagger. Oh, I said his name anyway. I said my mate, but he full of swagger, and he's like, come on, yeah, help me out. Like, what are you doing? And I was so awkward and just didn't know what to do with myself that the girl that he was talking to literally said, like, oh, like, are you on drugs? I was so just awkward and weird and, like, didn't know what I was doing. She literally thought I was, like, off my face. That was very embarrassing. And then that happened, and then we were kind of back and forth and whatever, and then I literally was just like, sorry, I need to go to the toilet. And I just went to the toilet and just was in a cubicle, like, checking my watch, like, all right, that's been 10 minutes. I just got out of the situation. And, yeah, my mate was fuming, like, just completely irate, really upset that I'd ruined his only chance. It worked out for the best because the girl he was talking to bartended our local Weatherspoons, so he would have seen her, like, every day for, like, the rest of our
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, he would have bumped into her every day for the rest of our teens. And she wasn't that nice a person in the end. So it worked out for the best. But he was fuming, and yeah, I was so awkward. She literally was like, "You are subhuman. Like, like, what are you doing?" So yeah, that gives you an idea of what it was like when I first went clubbing.
I still feel awkward
first
on the
time
dance
out
floor,
drinking.
I feel like
I've got over that. I think. I know I can't dance.
Why,
I know
like,
I know I can't dance. I know I'm never going to be able to dance. I've got my two-step. I got my side to side. That's all I'm ever going to do. That's all I'm going to ever attempt to do.
I like to talk about Callum's
I'm gonna stay in my lane.
music song. Ooh, na na eh. Don't I like you know me, na na eh. He loves that song.
The problem
Do we have a
is-
clip? If I
No.
find it on my phone, I'm posting that shit.
I think the biggest problem for me, and it's just I need to delete WhatsApp when I go out. Just not, or at least
Leaving
if
voice
there's a
notes.
way to.
You haven't done that in years. A long time.
Probably about 18 months.
Yeah.
But I think it's a case of there should be a way to disable voice messages somehow.
Yeah, I want to do a brain test before I'm allowed to send a message after like 1 a.m.
Competence.
Yeah, I need some kind of competency test where it's just like, no voice message.
We had a phase of like sending voice messages. I still remember one I made you freak out where I was just like, Ross, I'm not fucking. You said that Callum said there was a party, and I knocked on your room, and there was no party, and then you chased me down the hall fucking naked.
Yeah,
and
I
then
wake
you freaked
up.
out in the morning.
No, I wake up and Luke's telling me, and okay, I did kind of blackout drunk. He's telling me that I'm running around the hotel naked, and I'm like, I've never been that drunk. That is appalling.
Not yet.
That's terrible. I'm getting all this anxiety because Luke is just like
exaggerating
and shouting down his voice note.
Out, so you thought.
So the whole morning, I think I was like streaking around this hotel and just being a complete mess. Turns out what happened was he knocked on my door. I was in underwear. I wasn't naked. He was trying to.
Naked.
What was it? You were trying to get in my hotel room, and I was just like.
Well, because Callum said there's a party at
Yeah,
Ross's.
Callum lied
Callum
for
just
banter,
outright
and it was
lied.
good banter. And he
Didn't
said,
you lock yourself out your room as well?
I think I might have done it.
Yeah.
The banter was, oh, Luke's gonna go piss off Ross and wake him up because I've told Luke there's a party in his room. And then and it did piss me off. And then I was like, Luke, fuck off, get out of my room. And he's like, where's the party?
What I think happened?
I just chased him down the hall.
What I think happened was you grabbed something to lob it at me, and then you started chasing me down like 5 meters, and then lobbed it, and then went back in.
Yeah.
That's what I think happened.
So it's still
But
bad.
In the voice message, I made it sound like you were running down butt naked, chasing me down
like round the
whole
lobby and stuff. Like, it's still not good. I wouldn't recommend in your underwear running around the hotel hallway and throwing things at people. But it's not as bad as you made it out. But you had a habit of that. Like, I would wake up with voice notes from Luke, and they'd always just be like, yeah, the most anxiety-inducing possible thing.
There was a lot of them. Sometimes listening back to that, I was like, what happened last night?
I wish I kept all those voice messages.
No,
It's
and
so good to
I
recall.
don't like. I mean, it is a bit of a criticism. I fucking hate the person that is, and this isn't you because you'll be on camera as well. But it's the people that go out clubbing and they're always the ones that films everyone else being drunk and they never turn the camera around on themselves.
Yeah.
That pisses me off because
I
it's like,
turn the camera around on myself.
that's what I'm saying. So
He's
it's
not
not
talking
you.
about you. He's talking about
I'm saying in
general.
general, it's those people where like you wake up the next day and they're like, oh, haha, here's all these funny videos of you dancing drunk, and it's like, isn't that why we came out? Didn't we come out to dance drunk and have a bit of fun? Why are you now documenting this on your phone and then sending it around? Like, that's what always annoyed me. I was just like,
I like
don't wanna-
embarrassing myself, and I like embarrassing other people.
As long as
I
you
think
do it
it's
to
mutual.
yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, it's the thing that bothers me is it's like they're always out of frame and nothing embarrassing is ever happening to them because they're always the one on the filming. That pisses me off. Don't do that, people.
But that is mind the gaffes. That is the social blunders that we make.
Yeah, fuck that. Don't do that social blunder. That's
So
annoying.
I'd like to, before we end this episode, I'd just like to say, you told me all these embarrassing stories all around. Do you have any regrets?
I think
God,
for
what
me,
a question.
For me, I think it would be to be less I think being conscientious is a good thing. I think it'd be to be less conscious of what other people think. Because I think the biggest thing in the back of my mind was always thinking, what will other people think if I do X, Y, or Z? And I think for me it would have been maybe push, not necessarily misbehaving, but, you know, in terms of pushing myself to do other stuff, do more.
Yeah.
I think I probably wish sometimes I probably would have done that. I think I'm learning that a bit more now. But I think back when I was at school, I think I would have been, wish I would have been less conscious of what other people would think of what I'm doing
100%.
and just enjoy it.
Yeah. Do what you want to do.
I agree. It's the regret. Like, it's.
I don't think it's regret. I think it's just you wish you would have changed some of your behaviour.
I don't know. Like, it's like, you know, I didn't want to go to the gym because I was worried about what people would think, and I didn't want to. I don't know, like put myself out there or talk to certain people because like you're gonna regret. I don't really care because like I'm happy with where I am.
Exactly.
So I won't actually want to change anything. You always think back and it's like, oh, if I could put all the stuff I know in my head into like myself when I started like secondary school, and just how much better you'd be in social situations or more confident. Like, obviously that would be like a fun little experiment, but I wouldn't actually want to change anything. Yeah. But yeah, it's just like, again, it's just you're so fixated on what other people think of you. And to be fair, at school, it feels like a big deal.
Yeah.
Because if
everything's a big deal.
If everyone thinks you're this and that, it does actually affect what's going on around you. As you become an adult, like, what other people think of me? Unless it's like my boss or my fucking parents.
The irony is,
it's not going to impact my life.
If someone thinks, like, say, you're awkward, as a consequence, that makes you more awkward.
Yeah, you become
getting conscious of it.
It's self-fulfilling. If you're like, oh, I'm not that popular, and I'm going to stay to myself.
Stop acting unpopular.
You become, it's like self-fulfilling. It's defeatist. I think anything you think negatively, if you think the world's out to get you, the world will come out to get you because it will manifest in these different ways where you're being paranoid, and so like anything negative you think's going to happen is. If you think, oh, I'm skinny and I'm not athletic enough, and then you don't try the gym, it's like self-fulfilling. It's like, well, that's just going to become the truth. So you've got to, don't put anything in your way. Like, even if you think you're something,
guys.
Yeah, it's gonna change the course of what's going to happen in your life.
Do you know what? We should become like a BBC bite-sized
self-help gurus.
So like to help people in primary.
Well, that's what podcasts are about. And you know what? My regret is not starting this podcast sooner, or not even necessarily the podcast specifically.
I think you should have kept on with your videos and doing stuff.
I should. So I did creative media production at college, and then I needed a job, and if my manager sees this, well, shit happens. But like my biggest thing was I love making videos. If I'm embarrassing myself or not, it doesn't matter. I like the video editing process. I like the video production process. I'm really enjoying doing it. If we weren't enjoying this, we're obviously, not making money from this right now. But even if we didn't, it doesn't matter because it's fun. So I like doing the whole video editing of it. I like the conversations and the whole process of that. So my regret is I wish I just made videos ages ago because I always did. Yeah. We talked about that.
Life gets in the way. You start working.
But that's
you get away from.
That's my passion. That's what I want to do. I want to make more content. That's kind of a cop-out answer, but
no, I think it's true. I think the learning from that is if you have a passion, don't let it die because life gets in the way.
And don't. Yeah. Also, it's kind of like, well, you're making videos where you're literally like submitting yourself to the whole internet. And I always kind of didn't like social media anyway and posting it, but it's like because the fear of embarrassing yourself.
That's probably it. Yeah.
But actually, leaning into it, fuck it. This is what this channel is all about.
That's definitely the feedback I get on my OnlyFans.
Oh. Do you want to promote it? Do you have a?
I don't want to.
HTTP.
Don't want people to get too jealous of me, but
look, if anyone can, because podcasts, you're here to learn. Okay, obviously we're bantering, but if you're going to take anything from this podcast, it's that embrace being embarrassed. Embrace it because that's when you're going to be your one true self. And if you're having fun, who cares what other people think? Just do it. Fucking Just Do It me and Shia LaBeouf.
I didn't realise the end of this episode would be like such a philosophical.
Yeah, fuck it.
It's like the end of
advice.
It's like the end of Jerry Springer. You know, like we used to sit down at the end and like say
Yeah,
something really
man.
meaningful. It feels like that. I feel like really fulfilled.
Yeah?
Yeah. Any
Yeah.
poop jokes you want to end on? To
Fuck off, Ross.